6 o'clock, good morning. Live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. For the first time in his 17-year career, Matthew Stafford is the NFL MVP. The NFL honors were last night, and Stafford indicated that he will be playing in 2026, saying, quote, "I'll see you guys next year," in his speech last night. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year, his second time taking home that award. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba took home the Offensive Player of the Year. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, after setting the NFL record with 23 sacks this past season, won Defensive Player of the Year, his second time winning that. Panthers wide receiver Ted McMillan won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Browns linebacker Carson Schwessinger won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Also, the 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced last night. Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Roger Craig, and Drew Brees were the 5 finalists. And the Nashville Predators, they fall in D.C. last night to the Capitals 4-2. Jonathan Marchessault, Michael McCarron each scored for the Preds. Next up, the Predators and the rest of the NHL now go on a 3-week break for the Winter Olympics. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Friday morning to you in Music City. Welcome in to Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone. Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, 615-737-1045. Got a lot to get into today. Our final thoughts on Super Bowl 60. We've got Brent Hubbs of AllQuest, as always, jumping in at 7:20. Ron Slay a little earlier this morning, as he jet sets from one coast to another to talk hoops. He will join us at 8 o'clock. Andy Staples of On 3 going to talk some college football at 8:20. And we'll give you more of your thoughts as well. 615-737-1045. Crew's all here. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins. I'm Will Bowling. Good morning, gentlemen. We have reached the final day, the final weekday of the football season.
I'm going to be honest, it's kind of a little bit of a black cloud over this thing, man. Like this one, I think because the season is what it is, there's a lot of optimism and you got to wait for it as far as the Titans is concerned. And then just in general, you got to shift your watching and your viewership to other sports and just other things. But it's fun. The NFL going to continue to push and push and push. This one just seems totally different, though, because I feel like the game is going to be phenomenal. We're going to be really longing for more football in 2026.
I hope you're right.
I hope so, too. I hope it. I heard, I think it was Cosell yesterday on 3HL saying that he thinks it's going to be low score. Or it's one of those betting guys that had on say he think it's going to be low score. And I'm like, I hope not. I got a Thursday 3 I'm trying to hit.
I would like low scoring.
Yeah, nah. I hope it's over the top, though. We'll see.
I'm just here for my prop bets, since y'all stole all my other bets.
Shouldn't be in third place.
Are y'all
I'm not in third. I'm in the middle.
Are y'all? Yeah, he's in second. Are y'all Super Bowl party people? Do you enjoy Super Bowl parties?
I used to. Now it's just kind of like I just want some wings or some pizza, some dips, and just chill.
Yeah.
Maybe some beverages.
Okay. No, I was like when I was playing, like I had some of the bigger. I ain't gonna say the biggest, but me doing the largest Super Bowl parties, man. Just I enjoy my people over, and like some people have moved away, and then the prep of setting all of that up becomes problematic when you gotta also host, get the food, clean up, and then we also got the morning show that you got to get prepared for. But I enjoy a good Super Bowl party. I don't have one to go one just yet. I actually be just getting back in town on Sunday, so I got to see where I can find some nice wings and maybe a good pizza or something, man. It'll be low-key this year more than any other year, but more times than not, yeah, we've had people over. My wife does her like pregame like dishes and stuff. Like she'll do a rotel, she does spin dip, pigs in a blanket. I'll like smoke some wings or barbecue some wings or something like that.
I like it.
So usually, but this week we'll definitely be ordering out because I'll just be coming back from out of town.
Question I have for you, and our audience can chime in on this too, 615-737-1045. Who is the worst guy at a Super Bowl party?
Who's the worst? Oh, the guy, a team has never even been in it in like 10 years or more because all they want to do is talk trash about it. Yeah, that's the worst guy. That to me is the worst guy right there. Hawk, who you got?
Who just makes it about their team?
Just come in with the opposing team jersey. Okay, so they'll come in with a San Francisco 49ers jersey or Green Bay Packers.
Make it about their team.
I have a problem with that because
you don't?
It's the Super Bowl. Everybody wears their own jersey. Like
I have never once worn my own jersey to a Super Bowl party.
But it's the rambunctious side of it and just loud and obnoxious. I think that kind of gets you in those moments.
Yeah, I'll throw on my Simmons or Henry jersey.
I get that.
I've never done that before.
I get that. You hadn't done that
I'm
one
more
before?
likely to do like a Braves something because baseball season starts Monday.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
No.
Or just something Tennessee if there's like a Vols player playing in it. But who's the worst guy at the Super Bowl party, Justin?
The one who has no dog in the fight but yells at the TV screen. It's like, throw the ball, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
I'm
doing?
with you.
Can we not just enjoy the game?
Or the family, it ain't going to get personal, but the family, because nobody's listening because they all sleep. The family that bring their kids and they mess up your walls and like drop plates of food on the ground. And there's like, or the people that come over and they'll just like drink a half a soda or half a beer and not finish it.
Yes.
And then
that
it's like
part, 1,000%.
It's like 50 half-filled water bottles sitting on tables and stuff. Yeah, them people.
Yeah.
Them people.
I get that totally.
Yeah, those people. Man.
Y'all are missing the worst of the worst.
The
one that I expected. No, just if you would let me answer, I would tell you. Y'all are missing the worst of the person to watch a football game with, period.
Who's that?
The guy who makes it his entire personality that he doesn't watch sports. The guy walks out of the room, sports ball. Who's playing?
Ball.
You know, we should turn on the real sports. When's The Bachelor come on?
Oh, no.
Okay. I saw him on Dancing with the Stars. Hey buddy, we get it. You don't like sports. This is a sports watch party. This is a football watch party. If you want to get together and watch whatever else in the world, or even if it's the person who likes other sports was like, football's like the least intellectual sport there is. Sick. Go watch the other one in the other room.
Who are you inviting?
Oh my gosh. No, it just, I'm not thinking of any one person in particular. It's just
it sounds like
because I'm just watching with family this time. No, it's a college thing.
Oh,
of like when you watch in college, it's like the guy or the girl. It's just like who's playing. Like you know who's playing. You have, or I'm just here for the commercials. Like, okay, well, you sit over there and watch them, or we can get you a room upstairs.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like I've always.
This was a college thing.
Yeah, I remember that in college. We would do that. We would have a big projector screen and watch it or whatever, and then you have some people show up like, "What is this? What's going on?"
Yeah, no.
Like I'm just here. I saw a lot of people coming. I'd join.
We didn't even really have watch parties when I was in college for the Super Bowl as like a team or anything like that. We just kind of individually watched it. Got wings and got Domino's 5 for $5. What was it? The 5 pieces for $5 or 3 pieces for $5. We used to do that type of stuff and watch it on a big back television screen and stuff like that. But in general, like usually people are cool. Like I said, to me, the only thing that kind of gets me is to have left drunk, like drinking soda cans and stuff around the house. Like, no, you will finish this before you go get another one. And the water bottles ones, like I hate those too. Like, finish the food before you do something else. And here's the thing, my house is open. Like, get whatever you want out of it. But don't do that. Or the ones that be like, man, that guy sucked. Like,
just overly aggressive.
Just overly aggressive for no particular reason at all.
On YouTube, a couple comments. Duck Falling says, the worst person is the one who brings nothing and leaves with a to-go plate. Zach says the one who gets too hammered before the game starts. Dang. All right.
I've seen that.
Go off.
I've seen that. Absolutely have seen that one.
I love it. So you can let us know. 615-737-1045. The worst guy to watch a Super Bowl with. Congratulations to Mike Verbal for winning Coach of the Year last night at NFL Honors.
Did they mess it up?
Yes, they did.
No, they did not.
Mike Verbal.
Mike Verbal.
Mike Verbal's 10-game improvement from 3-14 to what they were this past season, 14-3, tied the 99 Colts and the 2008 Dolphins, 4-13 to 14-3. Tied the 99 Colts and 08 Dolphins for the best turnaround in NFL history, joining George Seifert, 1989 49ers, and Jim Caldwell, 09 Colts, as the only coaches to win 14 games in their first season. Deserved winner, Ramon? Mike Vrabel?
Yeah,
Mike Vrabel?
Mike Vrabel, most definitely him, but Vrabel definitely deserved it as well. I thought he and Mike McDonald had a fair opportunity to go win that award right there. It could have been either one of those two guys because they most definitely took it over the top. But looking where New England was beforehand to where he, got them in just a year, absolutely. Now, there's going to be criticism of what their schedule is and stuff like that. They still won the games. It's what the NFL wants more times than not as far as playing the fourth place schedule so that everybody has the ability to compete and not just be downtrodden all the time. But congrats to him. I know this. Like, I'm looking at a difference a year make, where New England was under my homeboy Gerard Mayo to where it is right now. I'm sure Mayo's just like, yeah, tough place to be at, man, for a guy like him. And Mayo's a good dude, so I hope that New England crowd don't disparage him because of 1 year because he's an alum there. So congrats to Ray. Ray earned that one, man. He's always been a good coach, and kudos to him on getting another one of those trophies. I just hope they don't Stefanski him, which I doubt.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Because you get that award because sometimes the storyline, I think this is actually a good team, and they're in the Super Bowl. By Stefanskiing him, I mean this is that award to be paraded around, and next thing you know, one bad year, they're out. Like, no, he's the coach of a year for a reason. And maybe it was just a Cleveland thing, right? Like Brian Dable won it, and a couple years later, he got fired. You know what I'm saying? Like that award sometimes, you give me the best coaching job, but tell me I'm bad after 2 years.
Yeah, right. Like you almost don't want to win it as a first-year head coach between Brian Dable, Kevin Stefanski, and Matt Nagy.
Oh, seriously.
We're very extra familiar with this right now. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford won NFL MVP, barely beating Drake May. He led the NFL with 4,707 yards, 46 touchdowns, and he had 366 points. With 24 first-place votes, according to Rob Matty of the Associated Press, Drake May was 5 points behind him with only one less NFL MVP first-place vote. So the NFL's gone to a point system for its award votings with first-place votes taking 10 points, second-place votes worth 5, third-place 3, fourth 2, and fifth-verse 1. Had one voter, Ramon, switched from his first-place vote from Matthew Stafford to Drake May or vice versa, this would have flipped. So if one person had voted Drake May for first MVP, then he would have won. Do you think Matthew Stafford's the right decision?
I do. He balled this year. He had injuries of guys go down, and what he was able to do with that roster, his offensive line, is somewhat trying to build it back up. And I thought you saw a different version of him this year with his ability to expand his playing outside of the pocket. And again, he cooked. There's no other way around it. Well, he had a real good year. And to be as old as he is, I ain't going to say like he had to win it, but there was no other opportunity for him to get it. And specifically, it was closer than I thought it would have been, to be real with you.
Really?
Yeah. I view the way the voters think. And say, well, Drake May will be back. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those conversations. He's young enough, and everybody will pick Matthew Stafford. But player to player, it could have gone to Drake May, and I wouldn't have batted an eye as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the age component of it is a tiebreaker in an otherwise pretty much equal resume. I also think the strength of schedule does matter here. And to me, I always thought Stafford was the better choice for this simply because he put those stats up at the NFC West. And Drake May put the stats up against the easiest schedule in the NFL and the easiest schedule we've seen from an AFC champion in generations. That, to me, is enough.
Yeah. Does HOF for Matthew Stafford, Hall of Fame?
I think so. I think this cements it for Stafford as a Hall of Famer.
I do too. We were talking about it as well. Bobby Wagner getting Man of the Year. He's a bona fide walking gold jacket.
He's first ballot, isn't he?
But him getting that Walter Payton was a tip of the cap. And by the way, Luke Kuechly getting in.
How about that? So a Hall of Fame class of 2026 includes quarterback Drew Brees, wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, joined by kicker Adam Vinatieri.
Wow.
And linebacker Luke Kuechly, who are both in their second year of eligibility. Rounding out the class is running back Roger Craig, who was a seniors finalist. So Adam Vinatieri gets in the Pro Bowl as well before his head coach or his owner in New England. in Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft.
Did you see the video of Roger Craig being told that he was getting in?
I didn't.
One of the most purest videos you'll see because it's his old teammates and stuff like that that's coming up to him. And, man, he didn't even give them an opportunity, Will, to, like, knock on the door. He had to have seen them from the cameras outside.
Love it.
He was so geeked,
that's
man.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Let's go to Root in Nashville. Worst guy to watch a football game with at a Super Bowl party. What's up, Root?
Morning, Root.
Hey, folks. First of all, I cannot stand haters. Just because your team's not in, you don't need to hate on the other team. Or because you don't have a team, your favorite team is the player you want to hate on. And I grew up in a Tennessee Vol fan, but my grandparents were in New England, Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics. I didn't have a choice. Been one my entire life. The amount of hate they throw, you saw it with Big Ben in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
People just want to hate. Those guys are the worst to have at the party because usually they're the guys that don't bring a thing to contribute. They don't even bring ice. Those guys. But, Ramon, I got to throw another thing, though. There's one area where I'm a hater, and it's in your honor.
Okay.
Why did the NFL quit making, or sports cards companies quit making offensive line cards? Scott Wells should have had a ton. You should have had a ton.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen quit getting cards unless they were, Jeff Saturday or, Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I'm on binder 5 of former Tennessee Vol cards.
Wow.
NFL and college uniform. And I cannot find anything with Ramon Foster on it.
It's because the numbers are probably so low, Root, that all of them are at my house. I got 6 of them at the house right now. And here's the thing. I didn't go get them. I had a high school teammate, high school classmate of mine, and he went to UT as well, sent me 4 of them when I retired. He was like, man, I've been holding these for you. I'm like, Tom, what the heck? I didn't even know I had a card, Root, Will. I had no idea. You know who else I hate watching the game with?
Who's that?
The bandwagon flipper.
Fair. Fair.
It could be female. It could be old, young. Don't do this right now. Stop flipping sides. I hate that watcher too.
Live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We give you New England and Seattle's pathway to winning Super Bowl 60 after this.
Guys, why not go over the top this Valentine's? I'm really serious about this, man. Really make a statement with something that is so personal, so romantic, and so meaningful. I'm talking about something amazing from Genesis Diamonds. Something that she can keep for years and years. Listen, flowers are cool. I like flowers too, okay? But nothing is more timeless than a dazzling bracelet, pair of diamond earrings, a colored gemstone pendant. And at Genesis Diamonds, they have put together a special selection of thoughtful, affordable gifts for this Valentine's, including all new creations from their exclusive designers, truly unique pieces that she will go crazy over. And for the ultimate in value selection, you can check out Genesis' new half-price vault, a special selection of exquisite jewelry at an incredible 50% off half price. All right, Genesis has amazing jewelry starting at $499. I'm talking about diamond studs, bangles, and bracelets, even engagement and wedding rings for you guys who want to get on one knee that she'll never see anywhere else. So, this Valentine's, let the non-commissioned experts at Genesis show you how to say I love you louder than ever with a classic, elegant gift that goes beyond ordinary. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
What's up? It's Will Bowling. You've heard me talk throughout football season about Daisy French onion dip. I love this stuff because of how versatile it is. You can eat Daisy with chips, with wings, with veggies. It also got an outstanding ranch dip as well. And the best part, it's going to taste homemade. Bring it to your watch party this weekend. Daisy French onion dip is made with ingredients you can find in your own kitchen. No preservatives, no artificial ingredients. Make sure you pick up some at a grocery store near you. Welcome to the final Friday of football season, friends. Ramona Will, off and running on 104.5 The Zone and Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. 615-737-1045, the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, the best place to join the community that's up and at 'em early today. Super Bowl 60, Ramon, you think will be high scoring and you think will be a good game.
Yes.
What is the New England Patriots pathway to winning a Super Bowl in Mike Vrabel's first season?
Hiding and minimizing as much as they possibly can the left side of the offensive line. Like, here's the thing. They haven't been bad. They're just rookies playing in the biggest gala, the biggest game, the biggest event in their entire life. I don't care if they played in high school championship games or college. With both of these guys at LSU and at Georgia, I don't know. I don't care what Kirby Smart has told them. It doesn't get much bigger than this. And settling in and becoming pros in this moment is going to be huge. I just want to start there first because that matters in these types of games. Like, I'm predicting that it's going to be a high-scoring game, but they could just try to keep this on the ground and just try to get momentum and running the football and settling in so that they don't have their young guys be overexposed. Now, here's the bad part about that, though. You got Uchenna Nwosu on the outside as well. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Leonard Williams, and you also got Byron Murphy, who was a second-year guy out of Texas. That's a real good defensive line. The challenge of not being able to blink Will on the front line for New England is going to be crucial. And the same thing can be said on the other side of the ball, too, with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore more on the other side. But as far as New England goes, it's settling that group in and also finding how you're going to utilize your weapons.
Go ahead.
That's just the way I say it. Like, how are you going to incorporate Stephon Diggs in this game, who I'm sure wants to make a statement? How does Drake May manages that throughout the duration of it, too? How much do you choose or elect to say, we're going to run the ball and we might just punt a few times just because we want to play the field position game? That's kind of how I'm looking at that between, when do they start airing it out with Kayshon Boutte and Stephon Diggs and the rest of their skill players?
Which defensive line would be more difficult to block if you were playing in this game?
Boy, I know Seattle.
Okay.
I know Seattle.
Yeah, they are more of a
I know Seattle,
as we used to call it, fearsome foursome.
Yeah, they are. Every player on that defensive line got a toolbox of moves. They got a reputation that they've upheld. Even Byron Murphy, as young as he is in the second year, like, he's been a good bit of a menace this year. Across their defense, they got long arm, big body guys. I think Byron Murphy might be the shortest of them all at 6'1", but here's what you're dealing with him is this is where the young fella from New England is going to have his chin strap on, Jarrett Wilson at left guard. Byron Murphy's is a butterball, okay? And he's going to be quick twitch up the field. That's his game at Texas when he was coming out of college as well. Getting his hands in his chest and not getting exposed. Like, that defense is a very attacking defense that Seattle has and has got experience. We're talking about in my opinion, one of the better defensive linemen in the league, and Leonard Williams. Like, I'm genuinely happy for him because I knew how good he was with the Giants and the Jets, and, like, he was a menace for a very long time, and now he's getting his opportunity. I can't see him not having his guys lined up and tuned up. And then on his outside edge as well, Will, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, who, in my opinion, is chasing the same thing that Leonard Williams is. Like, their focus and expertise on how to handle this game with their head coach and what he's asked them to do this year, and they've done it. And not just that, their linebackers, like, Ernest Jones has been elite. He's been really
in coverage and run stopping. I mean, you name it, he can do it.
And right beside him, Drake Thomas as well at linebacker. Like, they got some answers that they can allow their defensive line go hunt, and the linebackers just clean up everything else behind them. I'm choosing that defense, Seattle's.
So for me, I don't see New England having a lot of success if they don't win the turnover battle. The good news for Patriots fans is you've done that all season, and the Patriots have forced 19 turnovers. They're plus 10 in that department this season. They've only had 4 games where they didn't force a turnover all year. The crazy thing is they're actually still 3-1 in those games. The one loss was at home against Buffalo. In 3 playoff games, New England has forced 8 takeaways and racked up 12 sacks. So as good as Seattle's defense is, my question is if they get down early or if Rashid Shaheed breaks a big play, Kenneth Walker has an explosive play. Like, if New England's got to play from behind, to me, I think you're going up against strength on strength in terms of fourth down offense and defense. It's one of the really fun parts of this matchup where you've got two heavyweights. New England has converted 72% of the time on fourth down this year. Seattle has allowed conversions 33.3% of the time defensively on fourth down, both second best rates in the NFL. Where I think this game comes down to is turnover margin on one hand and red zone defense as well for New England. That is the weakness of the New England Patriots. Offensive line coupled with red zone defense. They are allowing touchdowns 67.5% of the time. That is the third worst rate in the NFL this season. I think Seattle's ability to get in the red zone and finish with 7 ultimately makes a difference in this game and means that if you're New England, you can't let them even get there. I just don't see a world where New England, I think the clear inferior team in this game, wins this football game without winning turnover margin. But again, the good news is New England has made their money all season on winning the turnover battle.
Yes, they have. That defense flies around. They're very opportunistic in the secondary as well, man. The other part as well that plays into it, and as much as we've talked about Drake May's ability to extend plays and if defenses are dropping back in coverage because it's either a tight game or they're ahead of the chains on 2nd and 3, right? There's a situation in which you have Sam Darnold that can run the football, right? Like, there's that side of it as well when you look at either one of these teams and how they're going to stop conversions of first downs each and every play, because the utilization of legs in today's game is where defenses have their major breakdowns. Now, whose linebackers are going to be the ones that keep those quarterbacks in a box? Now, if it is Drake May that's running it as well, If there's a run of over 10 yards for Drake May, I'll be shocked.
Well, the Seahawks have allowed the fourth most scramble yards from quarterbacks this year, or fourth most rushing yards by quarterbacks this year.
Yep, and I get that. My point of it is this. This is one game in which you have to minimize that. Because when you look at that defense against New England's offense, one, Drake May will let go of the ball at times. The fumble component of it as well. They're going to have to get after him. And if there's not somebody spying him at the second level or being keen to where he is with the football in his hand, because he will tuck it and run, shame on Seattle for that. I can't see them allowing that in this game. With how much momentum he gives them offensively with tucking the ball and run.
Drake May this season has 11 games where he's rushed at least a long of 10-plus yards.
Is he?
Yeah, in the playoffs, he has a 28-yarder against Broncos in the conference championship, and then in the wild card, he had a 37-yard rush.
That's true, too. It's going to be a good game. I can't see this not being good, and watch it be a dud.
I think it is. I really do. I think Seattle's so much better than New England. I really do. I don't see a glaring weakness on that team other than Sam Darnold turning back into his old self.
This year, he's checked that box. In big games,
he has. So. He has. They have outscored teams 72-33 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Drake May has not looked like himself in the playoffs. He's only thrown for 533 yards and 55.8% completion. I know you have a half of that's a snowstorm in Denver. But you could make the argument again that Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are due to turn it over.
Yeah.
They don't have any turnovers the last 3 games. They've turned the ball over multiple times, 9 different times this season. On 4 separate occasions, Seattle has had 3 or more turnovers. Sam Darnold threw 14 interceptions this season. Problem is, though, for him, 6 of those, or for New England, 6 of those just came against the Rams. So aside from 2 games against the LA Rams in the regular season, that's almost half of his interceptions right there.
No doubt. Question for you too: Are the Patriots, and this is a side quest, are the Patriots still the villains of the Super Bowl? The way you look at this, or has that been?
I don't think they are. No,
I don't either.
I don't think there is a villain. I mean, if I was picking one, yeah, it would definitely be New England,
right?
Because especially this part of the country, I don't think people really think about the Seahawks very much. But
right.
Legitimately, I kind of separate what they were under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady from what they are now. I think it's more annoying just the fact that Patriots fans haven't really had to go through any adversity.
They have not.
They've not had to suffer at all.
1 or 2 years, that's it.
Like, their fans are more the villains than the players, coaches, and Robert Kraft, the owner, is, to me at this point.
I would agree with you there. So is looking at this matchup of these two teams and how they rank is, and I'm just simply looking at just points allowed and points scored for either one of both of these teams are top 5 in both categories. Will
yes, they are. They are. I mean, it is a good game on paper. I just question how New England got those numbers in the teams they played.
Easily for them. And that's why I kind of wanted to go with Seattle. Seattle's ranked number 1 in points allowed this year at 17. Like, this is old school NFL. This is old school Coach Fulmer, like, where our keys to the game were not allowed more than 17 points a game. That's 2 touchdowns and a field goal. If we hold you under 20, we win. And that's been their philosophy. So it's very fascinating in watching Seattle take a chance on Mike McDonald, who I will admit, last year in this coaching cycle, Will, I had zero understanding of who he was as a coach.
Well, we didn't really know much about him. I mean, he's just one of these coordinators that got an opportunity and clearly was for good reason.
And it's crazy watching it come together the way it is. But here's what I would also tell anybody watching this talk. I saw your light on. We'll get to you in 1 second.
Well, thank you.
If you look at the makeup of the teams, though, it's essentially what I've said before about how a team is primed and ready for a Super Bowl run. They got the right amount of old, both teams. Harold Landry on one side, you got Stephon Diggs, and you got the right amount of young talent that are making plays for you. Jackson Smith-Njigba, Drake May, like the amount of guys finding what Kayshon Boutte was going to turn into as a wide receiver as well. Kenneth Walker, like there's the right blend of old experience with very young talent. And just to bring it back to Nashville, like that's where the draft matters. And that's where being strategic in free agency matters. Them going to get Milton Williams was huge for him. DeMarcus Lawrence signing with Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, and it's one thing to bring a free agent into an organization that's not won recently for a guy that wants a bag.
Right.
It's also another thing in Seattle's perspective to have a lasting identity and culture and have a winner that then you are supplementing the roster and adding to of guys that want to win and not just get paid.
Yes, sir.
Because that was a 10-win team last season. You're kind of looking at 2 different examples of a coaching job of putting something new together. And I think that's where Mike Vrabel deserves a lot of credit for quickly finding and coaching the right free agents that don't just want to get paid. Like, it's challenging for the culture there to flip on a dime for someone like Milton Williams, who just won a Super Bowl, got paid, and now is back in the Super Bowl for a second straight season with a different team and his huge payday. That's not normal.
No, it's not.
At all.
No.
And so Mike Vrabel deserves a lot of credit for bringing them together.
Because the other part of that is, like, and this is where Titans fans, I would tell you want to be as a team is where these two are. Like, you don't want to be in a position every year.
In the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, definitely in the Super Bowl. But before free agency start off, you don't want to be saying, we got to go get the highest paid guy in free agency. No, like,
which we're going to be saying.
Exactly. And that's my point is build up a team and a culture. However, New England did it in year 1, but I think they also had a great foundation as well, if we can be honest about that one. But looking at how Seattle has strategically, picked and plucked guys, and Cooper Kupp coming back. And as I mentioned before, like DeMarcus Lawrence, like these guys have found ways to pick pieces that fit perfectly into what their main goal is, and that's winning the Super Bowl.
What would you describe as New England's foundation then? Because I don't know if they did have a great foundation. They went 4-13 last year.
I think they now have the foundation.
They built it.
They built it, but they already had pieces in place. When you look at Gonzalez being there, you also have Christian Gonzalez. Their secondary, I think, was set for the most part. The offensive line had to be pieced together for the most part, but Keyshawn Butte was already there. Mac Hollins was a free agent type. Like Hunter Henry was there. Drake May, the quarterback, is already set. Like nobody imagined, and I got to give I'm pushing them off because they're young. Nobody imagined two rookies starting in the Super Bowl the entire year for the most part on the left side of the offensive line. So I do think the culture plays a part in it. But New England in general, just talking to people I know inside the building, like their players were chomping at the bit for this. So the foundation of losing last year, in my personal opinion, set them up for Vrabel to come in and incorporate his culture, and they bought in and drank the Kool-Aid.
Justin, what you got?
What I was going to say was I think the biggest difference on paper that you're going to see in this game is the special teams, where the Seahawks have the second best unit in the NFL versus the Patriots, where it's kind of towards the middle of the league there.
Second best according to what?
It was DVOA, I believe.
Getting into analytics before 7 in the morning.
Look at my dog.
Yeah.
To me, with a good
This
time.
was going to be part of my analytics yesterday before my bets were stolen, but so I just kept them for today. So the addition with Rashid Shaheed this year was by far one of the best additions in the NFL, in my opinion, because of how it transformed them. And he's had, I think, 2 kick returns for a touchdown since joining them. That is
smart trade.
By far and away the best impact on that team.
What a smart trade.
Yeah.
615-737-1045, the number. The NFL made a ridiculous decision that's going to impact 2 big fan bases next season. We'll tell you what it is coming up next. Hey, it's Will Bowling from my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center. Maybe you have been at a holiday party recently, or you're going to be at a watch party this weekend where you realized, hey, I'm not very good at hearing conversation when there's a lot of conversation going on around me. Maybe it's that crowded restaurant. You sit at that booth with all these tables around you, and you just want to hear the person across from you, yet you're hearing the conversation next to you more clearly because somebody's talking really loudly. I'm here to tell you, Brentwood Hearing Center can help with that. They have got the latest hearing device technology specifically designed to address speech in noise. So when you're out of that crowded restaurant, you're going to hear the people at your table the way that you'd like to. You won't believe the sounds you have been missing when you try this technology. Give Brentwood Hearing Center a call at 615-377-0420. Their goal, get you off the sidelines and back in the game. You can visit them online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com, 615-377-0420. Brentwood Hearing Center, better hearing, better life. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Are you thinking about getting into the trades, or are you ready to take your skills further? Lee Company has the opportunities that you're looking for. Lee Company is hiring skilled tradespeople in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, sheet metal, and more. With 80-plus years in business, competitive pay, and free training, Lee Company's award-winning team is ready to help you grow in your career. You can apply today at leecompany.com/careers. That's leecompany.com/careers with the folks that have generations of experience serving Middle Tennessee. You've probably seen the Lee Company fleet of vehicles driving around. Their team has got over 1,800 members, and they are involved in the community with Little League sports, high school sports, local events, and they're proud partners of the Tennessee Titans, Nashville Predators, and Chattanooga Lookouts. Check them out online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. Wrap it up hour one on Ramon and Will. What happened?
Yeah, so I'm not feeling too good this morning, so I had to get me a little medicine, so I was a little distracted.
Come on, Hawk.
Sorry.
You okay? Listen, you can't be taking sicknesses at home to mama, okay? Soon to be mama out here, Hawk. You got to be on your energy C stuff, and you got to go,
C stuff.
emergency. You got to go holler at medical house calls, man. Get your IV bag or something, man. Come on, Hawk. We almost in the finish line on this.
You got an extra one?
This baby thing. On this what? Extra what?
IV bag?
No, you can call medical house calls. They came from Murfreesboro to me last
Shout
time.
out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
MedicalHouseCalls.com, man.
I think the NFL made an interesting decision, Ramon, in the first two teams to play in Australia. 49ers and Rams will play in Melbourne in 2026. NFL announced the matchup yesterday, also announced that the Dallas Cowboys will be the first team to play in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Why are we exporting big divisional matchups between really good teams?
You got to show your best product to people that have never seen it before.
Why do we have to show Australia NFL football?
Because the NFL is going to be big. They're trying to be world soccer. Like
With that much of a time difference, we really think Australia cares that much?
Yeah, they will. It's new. Going to those countries, seeing how they react to it, and putting those teams over there, I think sets up precedence for a fan base that's easy to root for. I know the time difference is a bit much in it, but to be quite honest with you, I do like it.
Did you see how long the flights are?
Yeah, it's like 18 hours.
15 and a half from LAX to Melbourne and a 16-hour flight from SFO, San Francisco to Melbourne.
Yeah. I'm into it.
How would that work as a player? Like, how difficult would that be to overcome during a week? Because you'd have to probably go on, like, Monday or Tuesday.
They have to leave.
Start to acclimate.
Like Sunday night after their previous game.
Like, you almost need a bye week before to bye week after, which obviously is not going to happen.
They can't do it just yet. They have to leave on Mondays. Like, I know the way we would have done it is Pittsburgh likes to leave on, like, Thursdays. Like, no, this is logistically, you can't leave that late because guys' bodies have to be acclimated. And, again, they will fly on one of the biggest jets and try to probably have everybody, have a bed on the plane as much as they possibly can. The turnaround, to me, as long as they get there by Tuesday, I think they'll be fine. Here's the thing, though, and this is what they know. Like, this is where I will continually say, like, the NFL is a beautiful game as far as football goes with a dirty business behind it. Well, at the end of the day, man, them greenbacks is the only thing that matter. How much money can be made touching another continent, right? Another country. Like, that's the way they look at it. And as far as the players go, like, will there be lag? Absolutely. You know who enjoys that? The coaches. Take your butts to the hotel and relax and get off your feet and everything else. And here's what they know about the players as well when you look at this business. When the game turns on, Will, they're going to compete. It's going to be a good product. As long as the turf is good and guys are available to go play, I don't see it being an issue whatsoever.
Turf's not always good, though. That's the problem, isn't it?
They'll figure that out when they get there.
But they haven't. That's the whole point. Like, the Brazil games have had awful turf.
But my point of it is
so is London.
They don't care.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know it sucks to say that, and you care way more than I think.
Well, so do the players, I would imagine.
They will, but they're still going to go out there and do it because the check is what matters at the end of the day. That to me is where I compartmentalize my thinking into these type of decisions. Like,
no, you're not wrong. Like, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I just still don't like it.
I know.
Like, it doesn't change my mind on exporting a really big game between two really good divisional rivals and putting it in Melbourne. So you have that game. You have Dallas that is confirmed to head to Rio. And then you have, obviously, Jacksonville, who we know is always in London, and the New Orleans Saints, who will be marching into Paris. So if you're a Titans fan and you care how this applies to you, you do play the Cowboys this upcoming season. We'll see. I don't know if that makes much sense as a matchup for Brazil, Titans, Cowboys, but you do play Dallas. You're supposed to play Dallas in Dallas this upcoming season. So every time these announcements start to trickle out, you start to see, like, all right, who are the Titans' opponents? Who could they play? And are we going to get international? And obviously, it's only happened twice. So
my boy might get another international trip.
We'll
Paris?
See. I don't know.
Listen, as a spectator,
we don't play the Saints this year, so it won't be Paris.
Oh, it's not Paris. I thought you said, okay, never mind.
Cowboys.
The
The Cowboys are the only confirmed Titans opponent who have been announced with an international game so far, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. I like this stuff. I
do too. I just don't like it in Australia. That's where I draw the line.
How early will the game broadcast? It will be
That's a great question.
Saturday night, probably.
What time is it in Australia right now on Google?
That's the part where it can be problematic for a lot of people, though, too. If they're playing it like, okay, it's one thing. The London games are 8 o'clock. I wonder how much more of a difference. Will it be a primetime game or what? What time is it over there now? You got it?
Yeah, they've got a lot of time zones, so that's a big country. Right now in Melbourne, it's 11:53 p.m. 11:53 p.m. So you probably play it at night, and it's a noon game there. So if you started it at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, it would be noon in Melbourne. So that part of it's not as big of a problem, but you're playing it on Monday if it's a Sunday game.
That's true.
So if you're playing, I know, but like again, then that bye week is a wasted week.
It is
the next week.
They're not going to get back to like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning,
right?
Yeah,
15-hour flight. You're sore? Get on the plane, buddy.
Can I give you my retired player take on this one?
What's that?
Grow this game so my pension can grow.
Well,
that's essentially what it is, and this is also more leverage and lobbying for eventually what the league will have an 18th game. That's the other side behind it.
The way that I can make sense of it is, so last year, week 1 with the Eagles and Packers was in Brazil. So if they did it on Friday at noon in Melbourne, and it would be a Thursday night game, or Saturday afternoon, and it'd be a Friday night game, week 1. That way, you keep your rest advantage.
You don't have a bye week, though, after. You have to have a bye week after you play in Australia.
Yeah, you have to.
You're not doing it a week 2 bye week.
It ain't many teams that don't elect to take
Thursdays,
the bye.
That mini bye week.
No, that's still not enough for me.
It's such a, to your point, and your concern is such a bigger take right now. The NFLPA is so dismantled that there's no fight.
I mean, honestly, literally what I would do, I know. What I would do if I was the NFL is just have them play back-to-back standalone games and have them, I don't know, play Monday Night Football. Just play 2 straight games. Yeah. Or have what you do is a Monday Night Football doubleheader.
Yeah.
To where you go Friday to the next Monday. You've got to give them an extra day. Both teams are going to play a Monday Night Football doubleheader against a different opponent the next Monday, just to give them one extra day. Because you are essentially throwing away a day for travel there and back.
Yes, you are.
615-737-1045. Greg Sankey made headlines yesterday giving his opinion on the Charles Bediako case. We'll explain next.
7:01. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. For the first time in his 17-year career, Matthew Stafford is the NFL League MVP. The NFL honors were last night, and Stafford indicated that he will play in 2026, saying, quote, "I'll see you guys next year," in his speech. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year, his second time taking home the award. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba won Offensive Player of the Year. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, after setting the NFL record last season with 23 sacks, won Defensive Player of the Year, which is his second time winning that award. Panthers wide receiver Tet McMillan won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Browns linebacker Carson Schlesinger won Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Also, the 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced last night. Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Roger Craig, and Drew Brees rounds out the class. And the Nashville Predators, they fall in D.C. last night to the Washington Capitals 4-2. Jonathan Marchessault, Michael McCarron each had a goal. The Predators and the rest of the NHL now go on a 3-week break as they are ready for the Winter Olympics. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 on this Friday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Great to have you with us. 615-737-1045. A bittersweet day, Ramon, as we hit our final show of football season. Monday, our final recap day of football season, and we start to convince ourselves that, oh, it's okay. Life without football is still fine. It's not.
It's not.
It's not the same.
And I told you, I've tried other avenues of satisfying my football itch. It don't do it for me. Spring football leagues is null and void. But I will say I think I'll involve myself with high school football soon enough. My youngest is going, and I've kind of made a commitment to him. And yeah, we went and hit a few workouts this week. And
all right.
It's funny because we looking at the ends, like the greatest end game, and I think for football is the Super Bowl and how much long it takes to get there and the baby steps. I was telling my youngest, like I remember specifically in the 7th grade, I'm lifting in the middle school, and there was a girl that was stronger than me. Crushing, Will. Listeners, like legitimately, I was distraught by this. I think she did more lat pull downs or benching or something like that. I remember who the girl was. Okay, that's how bad it messed me up. But it also lets you know, like, your start isn't your finish in these type of situations, man. And watching young athletes want to lift or back squat 405 pounds their first time around is like, no, little grasshopper. we got to slow walk this thing, man. So it's fun watching. And, of course, my youngest is going to be a football player, a lineman. He's probably going to be a guard or center. I think centers get paid more money. Either way, we working right now. And I love it. The same commitment I made to my oldest, I told my youngest, like, I'm here. But I also told him, you're going to hate me.
Good.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get it. And I mean that in a loving way because I can't allow him to slip is what I tell him.
Sure.
Like, I know the pathway and I want you to be better than me, so this is what we're going to do, and you're going to do it my way. I sound like an overbearing dad almost saying
No, it's not overbearing at all.
It's not.
It's tough love.
This is the way.
It's a good thing.
All right, for sure.
Everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Greg Sankey's giving a little bit of tough love to the NCAA yesterday, saying Alabama forward Charles Bediako should not be allowed to play. Even explained the reasoning behind the thought process in an affidavit that was released yesterday, respectfully asking the court to uphold NCAA eligibility rules challenged in this case, which he says, quote, are essential to the integrity of college sports, to the educational mission they serve, and to the opportunities they provide for current and future student athletes. He writes, to maintain eligibility to participate, NCAA bylaws provide that a student athlete shall not enter into any kind of agreement to compete in professional athletics, either orally or in writing, regardless of the legal enforceability of that agreement. Now, Charles Bediako's people and reps are going to argue, well, what about all these European players? What about Ethan Berg at Tennessee, who's played pro basketball in Europe or in Israel? who is now playing college basketball. How is that any different? And Ethan Berg, you'll say, wasn't in college and then left and then came back. Yeah. And also in Europe, there's not college basketball. There's American college basketball, or you're going to play pro.
Right.
What did you think about Greg Sankey throwing his hat into the ring yesterday?
I like his stance as far as being able to back up the system. Like, I think everybody views this, especially when it's coming from the SEC right now, these guys who are trying to extend their careers with one goal in mind. I think it's for the school and for the coaches, and that's winning. Like, this is supposed to be, and I know they're semi-professional in this world, but this is supposed to be an amateur sport. Being in the position in which you cultivate young men and women and young athletes to get to the next level, like that's the goal. Like, not just sports is what the SEC is, or that's what they're thriving on. But right now, and I think the optics for Greg Sankey is this: we're making our conference mainly about sports. I think it's super unique being around the Vols administration right now, because Dondi Plowman, as much as she's around like the sports, she's around the researchers. She's recruiting academics. They're trying to get grants for research is what they're doing. And I think that needs to be the case in these situations. And I like what he said. Like, if you declare or have a relationship or a verbal agreement or however you want to go about it with a professional league, go do that. Because the issue is you create, in my opinion, a dam for people who are trying to get in to help make this league better instead of re-exercising old things because you want to win. I like the stance that Sankey is taking as far as trying to incorporate the integrity of it. I do ask the question because I don't know Sankey like this. Maybe we'll ask, Savage when he comes on, because I know Greg Sankey loves him. Like, is this real from him, or is this just an optics thing?
Well, it's very much real. Greg Sankey does nothing without being very deliberate.
Intentional.
Everything that he says publicly has reasons behind it.
I like this stance for him. Now, again, I'm of the mindset, and I've said this too, for the people who are fans of Bama, Vandy with Diego Pavia, Vols with Joey Aguilar, and so many others. Amari, I forget his name, Bailey, I think that's trying to go to the Grand Canyon University. Yes, that's who it is. He went pro and tried to come back. Like, they got to stop that side of it, because to me, this is about cultivating a high school pipeline to get players into college, to make them better so that they have a better representation. Like, the amateur side of it, I think, is still there. And we're talking about guys being 25, 26, 27 years old. Like, that's flagrant to me.
Of the three cases, Bediako, Trinidad Chambliss, and Joey Aguilar, how much of an impact do you think Charles Bediako's case and Greg Sankey getting involved in Charles Bediako's case has on the two quarterbacks, and including Joey for Tennessee?
I think it's a huge black eye on it. This is a deep bruise to either one of those guys trying to get another year of eligibility. If this is me, can I say something that's very transparent to you?
Of course you can.
If I'm Joey, if I'm George McIntyre, I'm calling Sankey and thanking him. Like, I want to root for my teammate, but sir, thank you, because mentally and just just the world of sports, I want my show eventually when you tell me it's my time. And like I said yesterday, I can have this conversation right now and then also suffer in the fall because you're going in with young quarterbacks as well. Like, Vols fans will forgive this because if Joey Aguilar helps you win 2 or 3 more games, helps you beat Texas or LSU, we're going to celebrate and act like we're not a part of the problem, and we are in these situations.
Right.
But if it's George McIntyre or Faison Brandon this fall and we lose those games or 8-4, right? You're going to say, well, man, I wish we would have benefited the way Carson Beck in Miami
did. Wish we'd gotten in the mud and slung around to make more room for Joey. Yeah, right.
As I said yesterday, force the NCAA to make a decision on these types of things because, again, they had opportunities before the toothpaste got out of the tube to kind of, create a baseline for what was allowed and what was not allowed.
Well, and right now they're allowing this in order to show Congress, like, see, we need your help. Give us an antitrust exemption.
That's what it is.
So my prediction on this is that Greg Sankey does not give official statements on Trinidad Chambliss or Joey Aguilar, but feels like one blanket affidavit for Charles Bediako essentially helps set the precedent for the other two cases.
Yes, it does.
Because I do think if I was ranking in terms of the case that each of these guys have, I think Trinidad Chambliss has the best case. I think Joey's second, and I think by far Charles Bediako has the worst case because he's the only one that was in college, left, and then wants to come back. That's the problem for Bediako.
Yeah, Bediako can take a boot. And I don't say that because I'm a Tennessee alum. I say that because
he had his chance.
He had his chance.
Yeah, right.
You got
if you had fought for this years ago, maybe that's a different conversation. But you've been developed by NBA organizations.
Yeah. I talked to Ron about this, and Ron said, he left when they won, what were they, was it Final Four?
Won the SEC.
Won the SEC and one of the best
23.
teams in college basketball. They were flying high. I think he left with Cane Ridge's Brandon Miller. He was in that class with Brandon Miller at Alabama, and he got bad information. This is also where putting yourself around professionals that know how to handle the pre-draft operations and how to obtain information. He hops in thinking he's hot stuff. Next thing you know, he's undrafted and searching for a home in the G League.
Yeah, that was Brandon Miller and Mark Sears, who was a junior that season.
Yeah.
Javon Quinterly, also on that team.
This is where your circle, I tell you, people that have kids that are in sports, don't isolate your kid and don't have a echo chamber where it's just you get real information and just guidance in these type of situations. Because here's the other side of it. Bediako is in a position in which he's probably feeling as if the world is attacking him. And you know what? Yeah, you got too high on your own supply and these type of things, or the people that were giving you the information probably aren't even around you right now.
Yeah, that's the price you pay for coming back and trying to make more money in college hoops again.
Savage. My bad, Ron. He said, "Who the hell is Ron?" Oh. Savage. I just try, make sure the people.
Infinite Bank Chat 104.5 his own YouTube channel where you can hang out with Ron Slay.
But that's my thing is get good information. Whether you're hopping in the transfer portal, or whether you're trying to go pro in these, hire professionals
not your uncle and them.
Not them.
Coming up, Brent Hubbs of All Quested on 3, the latest on Joey Aguilar's quest for eligibility after this. What's up? Will Bowling here for Daisy Dips. Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip are terrific. It will be the perfect addition to your watch party, made with ingredients you can find in your own kitchen. There are no preservatives. There are no artificial ingredients. Heck, you bring them in that nondescript Tupperware or the bowl that doesn't have any markings on it. People are going to think you made a homemade dip. And you can just let them know, hey, it's Daisy. You can check it out at a grocery store near you with chips, with wings, with veggies. You can dip anything in Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip, and your watch party will love it. Make sure you get some at a grocery store near you. Always a lot to discuss out of Knoxville. Fridays at 7:20. Right here on Ramon and Will. Joey Aguilar petitioning for another year. Tennessee, Kentucky hoops. As always, here to join us to discuss it all is our good friend Brent Hubbs of AllQuest and On3. Brent, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing on this Friday?
We are excellent. Kind of a bittersweet Friday because we're excited to preview the Super Bowl, but then it just hits you like, man, this is the final Friday of football season.
Well, but then we have all the drama that's off the field for football. We're just getting ready to get started with all that stuff.
That's
right?
fair. That's fair.
It's the NFL. First of all, the NFL has something that they do every month to engage you as NFL fans. They come up with something that they, there's some moment in the month of March, and then you got schedule release, and all of a sudden you look up, and the NFL never really stops. They do a fantastic job of marketing their sport all year long. The NCAA might want to take a hint at that in college sports instead of cramming everything in 4 weeks in the month of, in December and the early part of January, as opposed to, instead of putting your draft and your free agency signing and your playoff and Super Bowl all at the same time, maybe you figured out a way to spread some things out to keep interest going year round. But hey, what do I know about marketing? I don't know anything.
Man, you sound like Ron Slate talking about doggone NFL and Roger Goodell and how they hate on basketball in March and April and all these types of things, Hubs. I don't know what to say about it, man.
Well, here's my question with Slay. I'm watching you guys this morning, and I look over in the chat, and Slay's active in the chat this morning. So my question is, did he get up early, or has he just not gone to bed based on the fact that he's been, in parts unknown for the better part of this week somehow?
He hear you now. I honestly, as his bloodline, I don't have an answer for you because it could be either one of those things.
Oh, you know the answer. You know the answer. Man ain't seen the man yet. You know the answer. Don't lie.
I can't throw him under the bus.
They've gone from Vegas to Santa Clara this week on 3HL. We call that in my family suffering for the Lord. Having to go do all those things and then now flying across the country to talk hoops. Suffering for the Lord is what that is. I love it. Well, Brent, obviously the big news this week with Tennessee is Joey Aguilar's quest for eligibility and the temporary restraining order that was granted on Wednesday. Looking like, since the NCAA has got one lawyer that's fighting on three fronts right now, that's got to be on the Bediako case today, next Friday in Knox County Court. What can you tell us about the next steps in the process and Joey Aguilar's chance to still be Tennessee's quarterback next season?
Well, I think one thing for everybody to remember, and I think this gets lost among, fans of other schools and everything else, is all three cases that are going to be heard over the course of the next week are very different cases. What Bediako is going after is different than what Trinidad Chambliss is trying to, his argument, and it's different than Joey Aguilar's argument. They're all using the same path, which is a local court level. They're all arguing for eligibility, but their case for that argument is vastly different. So we'll see what happens. What Joey Aguilar and his team are trying to do is they're trying to get an injunction on Friday. Now, the judge does not have to rule on Friday. He can rule that day, or he can wait and rule in the coming days or in the coming weeks. But he is trying to get an injunction against the NCAA, which would pave the path for him to be eligible. Now, just because you win the injunction doesn't mean that the NCAA is not going to fight you and you're not going to have more days in court. But the next step in Joey Aguilar's quest to play football next fall at the University of Tennessee resides in him winning the injunction. The same way Trinidad Chambliss is trying to win his injunction, and the same way they're trying to win it in Alabama today.
It's really interesting, Brent, the way Greg Sankey got involved in this yesterday with the Charles Bediako case. I know his specific affidavit mentions going pro and trying to come back, and he does kind of make it specific to Charles Bediako. Brent, it almost feels like to me he's trying to kind of comment on all three cases by just commenting on that one specifically. What did you make of his words yesterday and just the way the SEC commissioner and college sports executives are trying to have some sense of sense, for lack of a better term, through these just convoluted processes?
Well, I'm curious to see if Commissioner Sankey is going to say anything specific about the other two cases, because, yes, there was some generality in his statement yesterday, but it drilled down pretty deep into the argument that Charles Bediako is making to try to play college basketball. So it was tailored specifically to that case. Where is he on these other two cases? How vocal, and I've got to go back and look, but how vocal was he a year ago against Diego Pavia getting another year and junior college not counting? So it's interesting that the commissioner decided to kind of get in the arena, so to speak, and get in the playground. Is he going to do that next week on specific cases? Or is he just going to kind of, lay low and go from there? I mean, clearly the Aguilar story was kind of a tipping point for some, national people out there. If you look at it, there's much more rush to the news breaking of Aguilar filing for the injunction. There's been more written about him than there has been about Trinidad Chambliss trying to get another year. There's obviously been a lot written about what's going on in Alabama. But again, the Alabama situation with Bediako is very, very different than what we're talking about with these other two cases. So it's a pretty fascinating time for the NCAA. I think there's a lot of national stuff that's been written the last couple days that is worth a read. Dan Wetzel had a story out there that was, pretty interesting. And Ross Dellinger, who I'm a big fan of, I'll just prop him up and sell him here. He does a great job covering the business side. Had a fantastic story yesterday. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it on my site. You can find it around some different places. Just kind of laying out for all the fans who are going, I can't keep up. Like, what is this? What is that? He did a really nice job sort of laying out the crossroads of exactly where college athletics is right now based on eligibility cases in particular.
Love that, Hubs.
We'll retweet it right now. Absolutely.
We're joined by Brent Hubs of All Question on 3. We're going to actually be serious and not play around with you guys because we got information to get out. Hubs, we've been therapists this week. We've been just coaches, guidance, counselors, trying to figure out how do you love Joey Aguilar to come back, but also there's a huge just sector of this fan base that want to see George McIntyre, Faison Brandon. Hubs, how do we resolve this in the best pathway for all three of those guys when it comes down to this fall and their futures? How do you view it?
Well, clearly Tennessee views, the opportunity to bring a guy who threw for 3,000 yards back as one you don't pass up. And if that could happen, then that's where Tennessee goes, and that's what they're doing. If something happened, he doesn't win, then you look and say, well, they didn't do any other work in the portal, so they're comfortable with George McIntyre and the competition that would take place there. If you're George McIntyre, this has got to be frustrating, disappointing. I mean, you're sitting here 2 weeks ago thinking, I got through the portal cycle. They didn't come in and bring in a $6 million man, or, Levitt didn't come, or they didn't go get anybody. They got a lot of belief in me, and here's my time. I got to go. It's time to go. He still has to have that mentality. At the same time, too, we live in a world where you're supposed to win, and you're supposed to win now. Are you really going to look up and say, hey, the guy who threw for 3,000 yards in his first year in the offense and in learning it in about 11 weeks has a chance to come back, and we're going to say no? We're going to pass on that opportunity in a year where you're coming off an 8-5 season. You're bringing all of your receivers back. You're bringing 4 of your 5 starting offensive linemen back. You're bringing your starting tight end back. You're bringing a 1,000-yard rusher back. Why would you not want the catalyst, the engineer of it last year, who should be a year better in your system? Why would you say no to him, particularly if you can get him at a price point based on the court document, which is around $2 million? That's, $4 million than what Sorsby's making at Texas Tech, or $4 million less than what Sam Levitt's making at LSU. Why would you say no to that if that possibility is there? And I think Tennessee's always said, hey, if it works out, then we'd certainly welcome Joey Aguilar back. We're still a long ways from that working out, okay? I think everybody needs to understand that. Even if you get a favorable ruling next Friday, don't just count your chickens and say, hey, it's done. And if I'm George McIntyre, man, I am trying my best to focus myself on I'm going to be the starter in August, and I got to go get it. I got to go get it mentally. I got to go get it physically. I got to do everything I need to do, and I'm going to put my best foot out there, and I'm going to win this job in August. And that has to be his singular mindset as a competitor, Ramon. Mm-hmm. If you're not that way, then you're going to have a hard time being a college quarterback at any level for anybody. You have to be singular-minded in your focus that I'm the best guy. I'm going to go win this job.
And Hubs, the way this business is working right now, whether it be a star D tackle, quarterback, wide receiver, given the opportunity, you're going to go get a guy with some experience is what we're learning in today's world. Hubs, in what manner does this affect recruiting, for future years? Or is the recruiting just take care of itself because I got a dollar amount teams can pay to keep guys sitting down? What's the mindset, I guess, or the process as well of going after the 5-star and potentially hurting the next year's 5-star by saying, well, they're just going to go with the older guy?
Well, I mean, I think you got to go. It used to be, and it's a great question, by the way. I'll give you props for that one. It used to be that you recruited with 2 years in mind. Okay, you were projecting 2 years out. Okay, if Ramon Foster was rolling into his junior year and he's a starter, I need to be thinking about who can I redshirt his senior year and then be ready to play, step in and play, mm-hmm. right? That's how you recruited for the longest time. You don't recruit that way anymore. You're recruiting year to year because it's a new team. You're assembling a new thing every year because we're dealing with free agency. So you're sitting here, and it works on both sides of the fence, right? So you're sitting here with Ty Redmond last year, who played more than anybody thought. So as a fan, you're thinking, man, we get Ty Redmond for 2 more years, and then he goes pro, whatever. Ty Redmond could have left you in December.
Yeah.
Braylon Staley could have left you in December. So it's hard to project all of that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out how to put the best team on the field you can put for that particular year. And a lot of people in certain positions certainly want an experienced guy on the field because that they feel like that gives them a better chance to win. And you continue to go recruit high school quarterbacks. There's one of the interesting debates, big picture, is do teams start to shift the number of kids they sign out of high school? Used to it was 25, and then it was like they took the cap off, and some people were signing 30, 32 players. Do we get to a point where you're recruiting 12 to 15 guys or 10 to 15 guys, high-end, high-talented guys, and then everywhere else you live in the portal and you supplement that way and become an older team every year through free agency? Or do you think, hey, I can still develop and it's cheaper for me to pay a current guy on the roster and hold on to him than it is to go get a riskier guy in the portal that you think is a good player, you think fits your culture and may or may not fit? That's the $1 million challenge in roster management right now.
Brent Hubbs of Allquest at On 3, our guest this morning, as he is every Friday at 7:20. Brent, I love the interview that Mike Keith, for those unfamiliar, did with Anthony Poindexter on the Mike Keith Show this week. And his statement, I can't deal with softness. From what you all have written at VolQuest in the War Room about the different mentality of accountability for nutrition and the weight room and all of these things, I go back to the conversation, Brent, you and I had the day after the Music City Bowl about how this team has just got to get tougher mentally and physically. How significant are the changes, Brent, in your mind for players right now as they get used to this new regime and a staff that clearly gets what they've got to do and get a lot tougher this offseason?
Well, I think it's important because, one, I think you're talking about Derek Owens, who comes in with credibility, right? I mean, you can sit there and, if a player wants to, all he's got to do is reach out to an Indiana player and ask him what he thinks, or a James Madison player and ask what he thinks. So he's got instant credibility because he just came off a national championship season. And he's obviously shaking things up and he's doing things differently. And, players have to buy in. That's up to the players to decide to buy in or not buy in. And I think this team is buying into those things. Words are great, and doing certain things a certain way is great. The proof is obviously going to be in the pudding. What this team has to do is they have to get mentally tougher, they have to get physically stronger, they have to finish better. And that's the code words or the key words or the catchphrase or whatever you want to call it. For Tennessee, it's all about finishing better, both mentally and physically, and that is their challenge. And it's off to a solid start. There is a long ways to go, and we'll see what it looks like at the end of the day. But what we know about Derek Owens is he comes in with an absolute plan, and his plan is his plan. And you're going to follow his plan, and Tennessee's off to start doing that. He is very involved in every decision that is being made right now regarding nutrition, regarding strength and conditioning training, even regarding mental preparation as well.
Hubs, man, it's a certain generation of guys that are around still, man. Rick Barnes, Coach Foreman, when you do something good, he just pat you on your shoulder. My granddad, man, he just say, be sweet, grandson. You know, like Rick Barnes showed emotions this past week or this past couple of days to Nate Ament in the game that he had, man. Where's that basketball team at right now, and how Barnes is watching them kind of grow up a little bit and compete a whole lot better, starting with Ament?
Well, he knows what Nate Ament has gone through, and he understands. He can act like he doesn't know some things that have been said by fans and things during the year about Nate Ament. He knows. He knows the pressure that Nate Ament's been under. They've talked about it. He's counseled him on how to manage things. And I think part of that smile was that's really the first time he just saw Nate Ament decide he was the best guy on the floor. I'm the best guy on the floor in the second half, and you can't stop me. And I think that's what Rick Barnes has always wanted Nate Ament to do. Just go play. If you'll go play your game, then you're gonna realize you're the best guy on the floor, and you can go score at any spot you want to on the floor and go play. And I think that's why you saw the smile out of Rick Barnes, because he's such a fan of that kid. Now, where is this team right now? This team is starting to figure it out. They're starting to get their identity. Obviously, Ament's playing really well. Boswell, as Barnes said, is the unsung hero. Gillespie, the thing Gillespie has done, and everybody talks about his turnovers, including me, and he's got to take care of the ball better. But one of the changes that's not been talked about with Gillespie, because Nate Ament's been on this heater, is you go back and look at the number of 2-point shots Gillespie's taking now. And I know he didn't take any the other night because of what Nate Ament was doing. And he missed a couple of layups early. But Gillespie is putting his head down and going to the rim. Mm-hmm. And when Tennessee drives the ball in the middle of the floor and forces the defense to react, it creates a lot of different things offensively for Tennessee. And they've got to play middle of the floor out and not play wing and baseline. If they can keep it in the middle of the floor with the ability they have to drive with Gillespie and with Nate Ament, it's going to free up shooters on the wings. It's going to free up the lob again and some different things like that. And it's going to get the ball on the glass, and those guys can go to work with offensive rebounds. So I think they're starting to get a defensive or an offensive identity and a better plan of attack. And then defensively, they're starting to do some Rick Barnes things. They have to do more of those, and this will be the challenge Saturday night, because Kentucky has shot the lights out against Tennessee, with the exception of the NCAA tournament game last year. Can Tennessee play gap defense? Can they do the things they want to do with help side and all of those things, but not allow a bunch of free looks and a bunch of wide open looks by the Kentucky shooters? That's their challenge. This has been a tough matchup for Rick Barnes' defense against stuff that Mark Popes wants to do. They got to play the high ball screen better too, because Kentucky just absolutely tore them up in the second half with their high ball screen action.
He is Brent Hubbs of VolQuest, joining us Fridays at 7:20 here on the show. VolQuest.com, the war room that drops every Friday, a must read for Tennessee fans.
Yes,
Brent, appreciate you as always. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great rest of the weekend.
You too,
Yes,
Hubs.
sir. You as well. Brent Hubbs with us, presented by Ascend Federal Credit Union, your financial partner for every stage of life. Bringing it every Friday.
Great sit down
as
with
always.
Hubs every single time.
He breaks down the eligibility stuff really well. I also think he breaks down that Kentucky game perfectly, and the way Denzel Aberdeen just crushed Tennessee in the second half of the pick and roll. Slay's going to join us at 8. We'll talk about that, but excellent as always.
I thought he gave a great answer as well on the portal recruiting decisions I guess you got to make. That was a great breakdown by Hubs on that.
We've got an opening at 9:20 where Slay usually is. That we should get back into that about how you build a team in college sports in a 1-year cycle now versus 2-year cycles. It's a big change for college coaches of any sport.
Immediately hearing him say that, I think of Ricky Gibson.
Fair enough.
Like the plans for Ricky Gibson
definitely.
at 26.
Definitely.
Like that's why we'll talk more about it.
615-737-1045. Ron Slay at 8. Andy Staples at 8:20. Our reaction to the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. What was the biggest surprise in the group that was announced last night? We'll talk about that next.
Guys, why not go over the top this Valentine's? Really make a statement with something that is so personal and romantic and so meaningful, man. I'm talking about something amazing from Genesis Diamonds, something that she can keep for years and years. Listen, flowers are cool, but nothing is more timeless than a dazzling bracelet, a pair of diamond earrings, a colored gemstone pendant. And at Genesis Diamonds, they have put together a special selection of thoughtful, affordable gifts for this Valentine's, including all new creations from their exclusive designers, truly unique pieces that she will go crazy over. And for the ultimate in value selection, man, check out Genesis' new half-price vault. Yes, it's a special section of exquisite jewelry at an incredible 50% off. Half-price value, all right? Genesis has amazing jewelry starting at $499 from diamond studs, bangles, and bracelets, even engagement and wedding rings that she'll never see anywhere else. So this Valentine's, let the non-commissioned experts at Genesis show you how to say I love you louder than ever with a classic, elegant gift that goes beyond ordinary. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
Daisy dips will make any watch party better, whether you're watching football, whether you are watching skiing. I don't care. Daisy Dips needs to be a part of it. Daisy French onion dip and ranch dip are made with ingredients you can find in your own kitchen. There are no preservatives. There are no artificial ingredients. And look, I'm not going to tell on you if you bring it in just a random bowl to your watch party and just tell everyone you made it. But in reality, you can go get it at a grocery store near you. I love dipping wings in Daisy French onion dip or Daisy ranch dip, and you should be doing the same this weekend. You can get Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip at a grocery store near you. Roberto will wrap it up hour number 2. This is how we're saying goodbye to football season.
So sad. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
it's kind of bumming me out. This isn't Friday, and we're acting like it.
This is a new song for me, so I'm kind of
This is a new song? Oh.
Never heard this unless I heard the chorus.
Listen to this harmony. Terrific. Not a good Friday song, but a terrific song nonetheless.
It sounds like a song that if I'm sitting back on my back porch having a drink and then deep thought, I'd probably cry.
You probably
I'd
would.
probably like hold back a tear or two. I have songs like that.
Everything in me to not sing the harmony right now. All right, Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026.
Suppress them emotions real quick.
No, not emotions, just the harmony. I love Rascal Flatts, one of my
Is that
favorite.
who that is?
Yeah.
That's a female singing.
No, nope.
That's not.
The disrespect is crazy.
Oh.
They all live here, too.
You
They could
need
be
to
listening
leave.
right now.
Just go ahead and start your weekend now. What are you doing?
I thought that was somebody. I'm going to say a random name, but I thought that was somebody like Shania Twain or somebody.
No.
I'm making it worse, huh?
We need to bring back that time where you guess the country stuff.
No, I don't want to disparage anybody
Off-season.
else.
It's not the off-season yet. This is still football season.
That wasn't.
We'll have plenty of time
Starting Monday.
for country music
You don't have
sing-alongs.
to tell me who that was, cause if you're an artist listening to us right now, it ain't me, okay? I just wasn't. Yeah, it was. I wasn't exposed to it. I thought that was like Shania Twain or somebody, dog. That's a dude. That's a fella.
Yeah, Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. Legend.
They
Legend.
probably asking him, who the hell is Ramon Foster to then? And my bad, y'all. I'll be better next time.
Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. Drew Brees, 13-time Pro Bowler. Larry Fitzgerald, an 11-time Pro Bowler. Luke Kuechly, 5-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Adam Vinatieri, who scored 2,673 points over 24 seasons. The third place kicker to ever make the Hall of Fame. And Roger Craig, who was the first player to have 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in a season, doing so for the 1985 San Francisco 49ers. Ramon, what surprised you, if anything, about the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026?
Nothing on this one. If there's anybody that surprised me, but it's probably Luke Kuechly, but not really. I'm not, God, let me phrase it, because I love Luke Kuechly as a player. When we played against him, I loved him as a player. Like, him and TD were freaking phenomenal out of there, man. It was watching him be good and surgical and concise in his movements, be smart enough. And then on top of that, look like freaking Captain America at the end of the day as well. Like, his play style was insane to me, but having an off-ball linebacker get in on your second bid, I thought was super fast. Thomas Davis is what it was at inside linebacker with him in Carolina. Like, that group, that team, that era in which the Carolina Panthers were, you knew who they were, and it was led by guys like him and Thomas Davis, man. So I'm not shocked that he got in so soon. Like, I'm not shocked that he got in. I am shocked that he got in after 2 bids.
Sure.
This is my only thing. Like, he deserves it. 1,000%, 100%, 100%. But I was just like, oh, okay, I didn't know he was getting in so soon.
615-737-1045. Larissa, next up. What's up, Larissa?
Good morning, guys.
There it
Morning.
is.
Friday. Feliz Viernes.
Happy Friday.
Hey.
You guys are amazing. And, Will, you're like the sweetest. I mean, you're always looking out for the next person. I mean, seriously, and I'm not patronizing you.
I appreciate
those
that.
trips are long overseas. I guarantee you it's going to be comfortable. They're going to be on a double-decker plane. You got the food. You got the movies. They're not on the DC-10, which I don't think they make anymore. But, I mean, it's going to be a nice, comfortable flight for all of them.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that Jamie Foxx and the lead singer of Rascal Flatts are good friends?
No, I didn't
No.
know that, actually.
Did not.
Yeah, they actually used to be roommates. And the funny thing is, I found that out. I'm not going to tell you how I found it out. But not like that. No, wait, hold on. But anyway, and going back to the student athletes, let me pivot real quickly. There was a time when student athletes would walk the campus, and they're not actually doing that anymore. And I kind of, it's a slippery slope that we're going down. It kind of seems to me it's like the Matrix is meeting. What was that movie that Bruce Willis was in? Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Stick to the face and in the Matrix, and then you've got I used to see athletes walking on the campus, but I hope that it does change. I really do hope it all changes because this is getting out of hand. But anyway, I'm going to hang up because I sound like a moron.
Larissa, you work on the campus?
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Just blew
Thank
right
you, Larissa.
past my question
Appreciate
right there,
the call.
Larissa. I was wondering, was she a professor or something? But I do agree with her on the athletes on campus thing.
She's not clueless at all. She's right on it. I mean, that's the fun part of college is like, I've got statistics 122 with our quarterback.
Facts, man.
He was in there the other day telling me he likes what the defense is showing. Like and not like, it's like you're the president because a group of Escalades just dropped off the quarterback from his off-campus house that a booster bought him.
I do miss those. I know exactly what
Like
you're speaking of.
you'd see the running back walk around campus. You'd high five him like, "Hey, go get him this weekend." Like that's college sports.
It is going into those big presentation rooms and everything, lecture rooms, man, and saying everybody in there and everybody got on the gray sweatsuits because all the athletes are in there in the same exact time. I'm with you though. Here's the other part though too, Larissa. As far as that goes, COVID threw that off. The ability to go cyber and teach classes and have guys be at home. The one thing that I hope they get back to, which is what I would say this, being close to the Vols this past year, what I would tell you this is, Larissa, and anybody else that are a fan of the Vols, I didn't see any other schools, so take it for what it was for UT. The personalities are still there. The jokesters are around. They are sitting in small groups around the hotel room and messing with each other too. So I do think it's still there as far as what I've seen at UT. Being on the road with them. I don't know if we're getting it all the time on campus where guys are having Thirsty Thursday kickbacks in the offseason.
Right.
And, pre-gaming before parties. I personally
Playing cards in the dorms.
Yeah. I personally hope they
Settling
are
Catan if you're Grant
going
Williams.
to parties, frat parties and stuff like that. That to me, going to frat row was cool. That was a new world I never seen. But I went over there with some of the walk-on guys that were in fraternities and, man, they loved us and it was a damn good time.
Ron Slay joins us talking Tennessee, Kentucky. Coming up next.
8 o'clock, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. For the first time in his 17-year career, Matthew Stafford is the NFL League MVP. The NFL honors were last night. Stafford indicated last night that he will play in 2026, saying, quote, "I'll see you guys next year." Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year, his second time taking home the award. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba won Offensive Player of the Year. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, after he set the NFL record with 23 sacks this past season, he won the Defensive Player of the Year. That's his second time winning that award. Panthers wide receiver Ted McMillan won Offensive Rookie of the Year. For Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's Browns linebacker Carson Schlesinger. And Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Also, the 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced last night. Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Roger Craig, and Drew Brees are the 5 finalists. And the Nashville Predators, they fall last night in D.C. to the Washington Capitals 4-2. Jonathan Marchessault and Michael McCarron each scored for the Preds. The Predators and the rest of the NHL now go on a 3-week break as they prepare for the Winter Olympics. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, in hour 3, getting started on Ramon and Will. Crew all here on the final Friday morning of football season, 25/26. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins at the controls, joined from Santa Clara by Santa Slay. I don't know. I've had worse. What's up, Slay? Good morning. How we doing?
What you doing, Will Lee, man? I'm just up bright and early, you know what I mean? Just trying to, get the feel of Ramon and Will, and understand Ramon and Will, the name of y'all show. That's who. That's who.
Slay said, did I stutter?
Just, yeah, you feel me? Then just, trying to grasp onto this getting up all early stuff. This ain't bad. You know what I mean? Especially when you got the whole day, you know what I mean? After this, this will really be prime time for me because get up, get your work done, get a cold-blooded nap, go do something else, you know what I mean? Knock some errands out, and then just get back, put your feet up.
Yeah, you're about to rise to a spiritual plane on the nap that I imagine you're going to take after being at the airport at 6 a.m. local time to head over back our direction to do some hoops tomorrow.
Yeah, man, and it's just bad because I'm looking for, I don't need all this bougie airport food that they got in here in San Francisco. Yeah, I'm looking for a cool.
I thought you said something else.
My boy. Hey.
Yeah.
I thought you were criticizing the airport food by calling it some Shiano there. You scared me for a minute.
Bougie. It's too bougie. I want the down feet on the ground back alley.
That's that Southern twang.
Yeah, I'm looking for the McDonald's with your hot cakes and sausages. And let me go on about my business.
Hey, can we be real about Mickey D's? They can disparage them all they want to, but you're going to go get a breakfast sandwich and them doggone hash browns 10 times out of 10. They stop playing, man. I don't know what's wrong with people out here acting like they ain't going to take their kids when they have kids to Mickey D's and stuff like that. You're going to get them a hash brown.
You can't lose, Savage. It's one of the greatest places on earth for breakfast ever. Hot cakes, the McGriddles, the egg, even though the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is going to make me go shake it down, you know what I mean, immediately. But other than that, I'm ready to roll, Savage. And the hash brown, you can't beat it. I'm not at them.
Cannot beat it,
all right, Slay, I'm going to jump straight into Tennessee, Kentucky. As I look at a picture of LeBron James playing in Kentucky shoes last night, he thinks he's on the team. Really? Slay, what adjustments does Tennessee need to make defensively in order to defend Kentucky better in a regular season game? Because with the exception of the Sweet 16 game last year, there's just something about this system that Tennessee has trouble with. What is it to you?
I honestly think it's simple, Will Lee, when it comes to just understanding the details of the scouting report. What happens in these matchups, Tennessee really has the starting 5 and maybe one more guy coming off the bench, 6 of them deep, under control. It's always that extra guy that you didn't count on to come make a splash, whether it be Trent Noah, who crushed him, whether it be Jasper Johnson, who carried them in the first half to even keep that thing from getting to 30 points when they played on Rocky Top the year before, Brandon Garrison would come off the bench and crush them, keeping them in games or, stretching out leads, being able to play that stretch 4, stretch 5 spot. And he's coming off a good game, but I do think in this situation, the attention should be at a height, at a climax, if you will, when you look at what happened on Rocky Top. Like, these guys got to be dialed in and understand the physicality. Everybody keeps saying they're a physical team. They are a physical team on the wings, but the bigs, to me, aren't that physical when you look at a young freshman leading you as far as Malachi Moreno. So I think, man, you pay attention to the detail. And when guys come in, like a Jasper Johnson, you don't let those guys get hot. You treat them just like they are a starter and don't let your guard down. And I think they handle business.
Savage, when you look at this weekend, too, of course, Felix Akpara, I think, is still down with the calf. I'm not sure if he's going to be elevated. But it's good seeing young fellas like Brown step up a little bit more. I feel like it's made J.P. Estrella get more offensive and do, things that I don't think the first half of the season he was doing, man. How do they go and attack these guys that's got to step up while missing a key guy in Felix Akpara around the rim?
Yeah, it's that next man up mentality. The same thing when the Cade Phillips went down. You got more opportunities for J.P. Estrella to go to be thrust into that role and have to carry that responsibility, where Cade seemed like he was already emerging as that guy to be there. But it's finally him understanding. J.P. understanding Dwayne Brown. Like, every coach knows this. You guys know this. Once you get to the halfway point, you get in conference play, you're no longer whatever your status was at first. So if you were a freshman, you're no longer a freshman. You done been through the whole offseason. You done been through the preseason, non-conference, all of this leading up to this point, especially now. Once we get in February, getting ready to go and aim at the conference tournaments and March Madness, you are definitely a veteran or a seasoned guy and understanding exactly what's expected of you. So Dwayne Brown, great guy as far as passing, the post-to-post passing, I think is tremendous. Everybody playing within themselves. I think we see that more. It's not people playing with hesitation. So I think that's something that JP's been able to grasp to exactly what you want from me. You want me to score down here if I get an opportunity? Absolutely. 2 feet in the paint. Quit looking to throw a lob. You're the 6'11" long guy, close to 7 foot. Score. Put it on the rim. Let somebody like Dwayne Brown go get a Jalen Carey, starting to figure it out. So I think they're in a fine spot, man. And also, when you got guys like Nate Ament playing the way he is, it takes a little bit more pressure off of those guys delivering and having to come through for you.
Man, when you look at this situation right now that they're faced with, Nate Ament showing up, but Savage, what goes through a guard's mind whenever they can't keep the ball on the string like that with Jacoby Gillespie, or decisions that he's trying to make with the ball in his hand, man? He gets loose. What happens in those moments, man? Like, I can tell you how an offensive lineman gives up a sack because, this or that, or he didn't have his head up. Like, what happens to a guard in those situations?
Yeah, guards they understand when to take risk and when not to. That's about knowing time and score, exactly what's going on in the game at that moment. Is this the kind of move that you need to tilt the scales to get momentum back? It could be one of those, or do you just trust what's going on around you? I think he's built the trust now to be able to come up off of it and know that he's going to get it back with guys like Bishop, Boswell getting it, Amari Evans getting it, whoever may be getting it as a pressure release. You don't have to do that much. You can give it up, make a cut, get it back, and then restart, instead of having to think once you get it, you got to go make a play. No, you don't necessarily have to make a play like that. So I think Jacoby's learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though it sounds weird to say a senior is still learning who's played on that stage before, but this is a new system. This is a part of the transfer portal that a lot of people, it doesn't register just because they get in this spot and they've been known to be that guy. Yeah, it's different when you're under the helm of a Rick Barnes and you got a lot more responsibility as far as getting people in spots, understanding the balance of when you do this move. Is anybody already back to go and get the defensive balance if they get out in transition? I think all of that is where this team has grown. And you really got to tip this cap to Bishop Boswell, I think, for Jacoby not turning it over, because he's a guy that's going to be able to right the ship and let Jacoby play that 2 spot. So that's different too, Savage, when you're playing, you slide to the 2 and he's not playing the 1. you automatically click back into that scores mentality. When you're at the one, you still got to have a little slight eye, of where guys are, just so you can drop it off and get them involved too.
Ron Slay with us, 3HL, SEC Network, ESPN, Television's Ron Slay. We got Andy Staples coming up in 10 minutes, Slay, so we got time for one more here. If you've got one key to beating Kentucky tomorrow for Tennessee, what would it be?
Match intensity. You know what it's going to be. The reason they've been able to go on these stretches of games and win, the reason they started their win streak, the reason they were able to win 6 of the last 7, or maybe be 7 of the last 8 now, whatever it is because of the intensity. They've finally been able to turn it on in games when the game starts and not have to fight out of the hole. And they've been able to carry it. And the head of the snake is Otegoway. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's going to do what he's going to do. But you can't let the guys like Colin Chandler, who separates games for them as far as being that outside spot-up shooter. He's that guy. Jasper Johnson wants to catch and shoot. There's Aberdeen. I heard Hubs talking about the screen and roll. So the bigs, in this sense, have to help the guards. When these guys are coming off screens, it's one thing to keep them in front until the guard gets back. It's another thing to have active hands on the ball. So, for example, if Ramon is setting a screen on your man, Will, and I'm helping defend, I got to be up when you're coming off, and they like to do that snake thing, the guards, when they kind of curl around the screen and the guard gets hung up. The big has to have active hands, not necessarily trying to steal it, but swipe at it, not in his arms or anything like that, just to keep him alert of, oh, man, if I get loose with this handle, like they do Gillespie, what Savage was just asking about, that's a steal. So you have to make them be attentive, not when they coming off acting like this is a cone drill and the big is just waddling in the paint. You can't do no waddling. You got to be assertive and play with a different wheel in this one. No pun intended. You got to play with a different Will Lee up there in Rupp to make these guys get this victory. Because you got to match it. Rupp's going to be rocking. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. You know what I mean? They got recruits coming in. They're bringing out the 96, almost said a bad word, Bullshiano jerseys that they wore, like they still got Mercer and Derek Anderson and Mark Pope and them guys. This ain't no 96 championship team. But come on out with the denim blues that they pulling out. We love to go on and crush the Spears in there.
Hey, that was a great breakdown, Ron.
I appreciate it, Savage.
Now we back on speaking terms?
You just want to keep on calling me.
No, because you said if Ramon sets the screen, I'm like, who was Ramon? You didn't even realize you did it. Oh,
I know. I did. I'm talking about Ramon and Will, but that's how you just did me when you talked about. You said my name 3 times before I got on the show.
So we getting a lick back.
Talking about Ron, when talking about Ron. I'm like, who is Ron? But okay, is it
you know what? I hope you have great Wi-Fi on your flight today. Okay, I hope your Wi-Fi is amazing today.
I see. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now, that's how you get out on the good foot. I appreciate that, bro.
Ron Slade joining us from the West Coast back to this side of the states to talk some hoops tomorrow. We'll talk more about the week in Santa Clara and Vegas was like. Y'all been having a blast out there, but probably working a lot the last 2 days as well.
Most definitely, man. I got to give a shout out to Savage, man. I don't know if people understand exactly what we have at the station, the gym that we got in Savage Dog. Like, it's so many people that know who he is. Like, hey, man, where your brother at, man? Is he coming down with us? I'm like, no. For some reason, they won't let him out of there, even though he's an NFL guy. Still affiliated with him, still with NFLPA and all that. But
I got calls yesterday.
I'm telling you, Dre. I'm telling you, Savage, this is where it's at, man.
We gonna get out there, man.
I love how quickly y'all go from talking crap to each other to hyping each other up. It makes me so happy.
That's my dog.
That's fantastic.
Hey, by the way, speaking of hyping, Monday, Tuesday night, big ESPN.
Big Monday, Super Tuesday again?
Yeah. Saturday, SEC Network, Monday, Tuesday. We back on. We're back on the big desk.
Jet-setting Slay with us this morning. 3 to 6 on 3HL. Appreciate you, Slay. Have a good trip.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate you, dog.
All right, Ron Slay with us. Andy Staples of On 3 talks Joey Aguilar, Tennessee, and college football after this.
It's Ramon Foster for United Structural Systems, man. Tennessee was hit hard by severe weather last month from Winter Storm Fern. Yeah, we all were affected by it. Some still are currently affected by it, man. As communities across Tennessee continue to work to rebuild from flooded homes and storm-damaged schools to infrastructure weakened by melting snow and ice. USS, y'all, is here to help. Since 1994, United Structural Systems has helped thousands of families and businesses restore their homes after foundation damage. Often that damage comes from the kind of severe weather Tennessee sees year after year. It's just where we are in the geography of this country, man. But USS doesn't just fix structures. They help restore stability, safety, and peace of mind, especially for people recovering from storms, flooding, and shifting ground. Their community involvement, supporting local schools, neighborhood, and organizations like Habitat for Humanity reflects their belief about rebuilding is all about hope and rising together again. This year, by the way, this March marks USS 10-year Habitat for Humanity build, man. That's a major milestone. It just shows their longevity and commitment to it. Listen to me. Visit USSTN.com and gain a peace of mind with United Structural Systems, foundation repair, and their waterproofing services. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you. Fellas, I'm not even going to ask you why not go over the top for this Valentine's Day. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to point you in the right direction as well, man. You can really make a statement with something that is so personal and romantic and meaningful from Genesis Diamonds, man. Something that she can keep for years and years. Listen, flowers are nice, but nothing is more timeless than a dazzling bracelet, pair of diamond earrings, a colored gemstone pendant. And at Genesis, they have put together a special selection of thoughtful, affordable gifts for this Valentine's, including all new creations from their exclusive designers, truly unique pieces that she will go crazy over, and they have the ultimate value as well, man. You can check out Genesis' new half-price vault, a special section of exquisite jewelry, and an incredible 50% off. Yes, that's half price. Genesis has amazing jewelry starting at just $499. I'm talking about diamond stud, bangles, and bracelets, even engagement and wedding rings that she'll never see anywhere else. So this Valentine's, listen to me, let the non-commissioned experts at Genesis show you how to say I love you louder than ever with a classic, elegant gift that will go beyond her expectation and is not ordinary. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolex watches.
Ramona Will continues on 104.5 The Zone and Zone TV with the 11-year NFL vet, Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined by one of the group of the Avengers that Shannon Terry has put together at On 3. Andy Staples talking some college football with us, with Joey Aguilar, with Bediako, Chambliss, all the stuff going on in college athletics, which is always a year-round news cycle. Andy, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Andy.
I love that we're making Charles Bediako a football player because, I mean, really, you have you'll have dudes come back from the NFL if he wins. So
that's true. I mean, that was my first question, Andy. Can you officially confirm Ramon doesn't have eligibility left to come back and play right tackle for the Vols this year?
Listen. If Tennessee is really wanting to win some games, I think they find a way.
That's what I'm saying.
They do. We do. Listen, I'll take a nice little NIL, man. Andy, I got no problem soliciting myself.
Gus's Good Time Deli. I mean, come on. What we do? Calhoun's. We got options now.
We got plenty of options.
You could be the Cookie Monster at Moonshine Mountain.
Yes,
easily
that's
take
right.
that.
Come up with a stat like 3 pancake blocks. Actually, maybe we get you a brunch place that for the number of pancake blocks per game.
Listen to me.
Pancake Pantry in Gatlinburg could be calling your name.
It could be. I got a place in mind already in West Knoxville, Andy. We got this set up, man. and what better time to do brunch? Because, you usually have a Saturday night game. Get up the next day before workouts and go to brunch. I'm going to have a little mimosa.
Right. And if Ramon had 4 pancake blocks, everybody gets a free pancake.
Listen, my motto is, in general and professionally, everybody eats, Andy.
That's
okay?
Right. The only person against this might be Mike Keith, voice of the Vols, saying hold on, wait a minute.
Hold up,
that's my analyst. Andy, as you look at this case and just the entire process with Joey Aguilar, how important is Charles Bediako to Joey Aguilar, or do you see these as pretty different situations?
They're different situations. Joey Aguilar, Charles Bediako, and Trinidad Chambliss all kind of working on parallel tracks, but they're all different things. With Joey Aguilar, it's a case where he was in JUCO. He's trying to get an extra year of eligibility, and they're doing that in state court. Now, everybody's doing it in state court now because they're not sure they could actually win in federal court. But like Trinidad Chambliss, never played in JUCO. He's trying to essentially get a medical hardship waiver from the NCAA that they've denied. And so they're arguing that they didn't go by their normal process and denied it without actually considering the evidence, all that sort of stuff. So it's all different. And with Bediako, he's actually within the eligibility window time-wise, but he played in the G League. So all different cases, but they're all kind of hovering around the same thing.
Andy, it's so interesting with Joey. We had a guest on last year talking about Diego Pavia before his first try to get another year, which he obviously got, saying if 1 year of JUCO doesn't count, what's to say that 2 years of JUCO don't count? And now we're in that exact boat with Joey Aguilar. I know that predicting how courts are going to rule is like some meteorologist trying to predict the weather a month out. But do you have a gut feeling on this Aguilar thing and the case that Joey has in court at this moment?
Well, I think probably Aguilar and Chambliss, I would say better than 50% chance they are playing in college next year. I don't know that I'd go too far because, like you said, you don't predict these, with any sort of certainty because everybody thinks, they're in court in Knoxville and the judge has 2 degrees from Tennessee and blah, blah, blah. Judges take their jobs very seriously. It's not like, I'm a fan of this school and therefore I'm just going to rule in favor of the thing that makes the school happy. That's not going to happen. It's going to have to be because they believe the evidence says that the Joey Aguilar might win at trial. And remember, they're not trying to win the trial here. In both in the Aguilar case and in the Chambliss case, I don't think they have to win the trial. They need the injunction, which says they can play until this is all settled, and then it won't ever get settled.
No, it will not. I'm joined by Andy Staples of On 3 this morning. Andy, when you look around the league, man, when you say players jump in portals and coaches, when it boils down to their job security, and the question I have in today's sports world, specifically on the football side, which coaches are actually safe when it comes down to their jobs?
Lane Kiffin right now, I guess.
The first year, basically?
Yeah, the first year guys. Now, I guess we've seen some first year. I remember Ellis Johnson when he went to Southern Miss.
Yeah.
He did get fired after 1 year because I think he went 0-12. But, yeah, the first-year guys, that's it. Because I feel like Kurt Cignetti has just messed this up for everybody. Like, every coach is just cursing Kurt Cignetti because they're like, wait a second. One, you made Indiana good in your first year, and then you made them the national champion in your second. There's no way I could ever say I need 3 years to build now. Like, nobody can ever say that again. And it may just be that Kurt Cignetti is like an all-time great coach, and we didn't know it. But, yeah, I feel bad for these guys that are entering year 3. They haven't necessarily hit what they want to hit yet, but you can't ever make the excuse again that, like, I need 4 years to build this thing.
Wow. Yeah, speaking of which then, I saw you retweet something a little while back, man, where it was the Field of 68 ranking SEC jobs with Kentucky number 1 and South Carolina.
These are basketball jobs.
Yeah, but how do you view that moving forward across the SEC in general, man? Like, I
thought it was interesting because it was from the coaches. Like, they polled all 16 SEC coaches, and Kentucky got 16 first-place votes. And I was surprised by that because I guess maybe that's the coach's mentality of I want to be at the place with the highest expectations, the highest resources, the highest everything. But like in basketball, I would look at, say, the Florida job is better because, like, for example, they just won the national title. So you can win there, but all the pressure's on the football coach.
Yeah.
Like in Kentucky, all the pressure's on the basketball coach. And I guess there was pressure on the football coach, too, since they just paid a bunch of money to fire Mark Stoops. But it took a while. Like, he had to have some 2 really bad seasons to get to that point. Like, if Mark Pope doesn't have a good year this year, and look, it's kind of jury's out on it. Like, they were terrible, and then they were good, and then they hit a little rough patch, and they go beat Arkansas, and they're happy because they beat Cal. Like, if they make a run in the tournament, they're fine. But what if they're knocked out in the first round of the tournament? Yeah. I look at it differently, I think. And that's why I always call Kentucky football the best job in America. Because they'll build you a statue if you win 9 or 10 games a year. And meanwhile, if you did the same thing at LSU, you get fired. So I think that's just like we look at it differently than coaches do.
Yeah, no doubt.
Very fair.
Yeah.
And on that same note, Andy, we're entering a season and an off season where Josh Heupel, as you know, because you've listened to a lot of Vol calls like we have, RIP. There is a very interesting dynamic at play here because Tennessee has been kind of playoff contenders in even years, and then will rebuild in odd years. And now you're looking at a situation where it could be redshirt freshman George McIntyre, it could be true freshman Faison Brandon, or as you know, the 6th or 7th year, or whatever the heck we're on now, Joey Aguilar. What is the reasonable pressure or expectation on Josh Heupel right now, Andy? Because it could be a lot worse at a lot of places in the SEC right now than what Tennessee has. But at the same time, we're looking around saying it also could be a lot better right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the reasonable pressure is I think the expectation is for him to go to the playoff. I think he gave them a taste, and now they got blood on their teeth. Like they're ready for going deeper in the playoff. Now, a lot of that's probably going to come down to how the defense plays. That was the issue last year, and obviously some very key injuries on that side of the ball. But they end up parting ways with Tim Banks. They bring in Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles has been really good at Oklahoma State and Ohio State and Penn State. So, the thought is that suddenly that unit will get better. And I think if it does, then, yeah, we're talking about a team that can compete for the playoff. But the problem is in the SEC right now, there's probably 8 or 9 teams that are kind of hovering in there that are like they could win 8 or they could win 10. And one is very different from the other because if you win 10, you're going to the playoff probably. If you win 8, you're definitely not, and everybody's going to be mad at you. So that's the issue. A lot of it's just going to come down to how the games shake out. I mean, guys, this past year in the SEC was the lowest average margin of victory, I believe, this century.
Wow.
So it's much tighter than it used to be. And this is something that if you listen to the economists during all those court cases, they predicted this would happen. because the market just became a lot more efficient in terms of players moving around, players finding the right place for them, and you can't stockpile talent anymore. So there's nobody with a super prohibitive advantage, and everybody's got rosters where they've got some guys who can really play. So that's the hard part about predicting any of these records in the SEC beyond like Georgia's going to be good. That's pretty much the safest assumption you can make, but you don't really you can't pinpoint how good. And then you've got, Tennessee, Auburn, South Carolina, Florida, Texas. Like Texas A&M was really good last year, but do we know what they're going to be this year? Texas A&M. Like all of these schools that you could spin me a scenario where they make the playoff, but you can also spin me a 7-5, right. And I believe you. And that's just where the league is right now.
It's really interesting, Andy, too, down the road where Vanderbilt sits in all of this, because the beauty of always being old is that you always have experience, you always have veteran players, but then the downside of it is you got to go find new ones every year in the transfer portal, and Vandy struck gold this year. Now they're going to have to try to do that with a true freshman quarterback in Jared Curtis, who we've watched play high school football down the road, Andy. The guy's got an insane arm, but he is like in a different phase of life than what Diego Pavia was just as a person. Yep. What do you make of Vanderbilt entering 2026 and the challenge that Clark Lee, Barton Simmons, that entire program has in trying to replicate this past year's success, albeit with a totally different looking quarterback?
I think Clark and Barton found the formula. And I also think the way the game has changed a little bit. I've talked not to the Vandy folks, but to some coaches about this recently. And they were explaining that with the revenue share coming in last year, it really helps teams retain who they want to retain, and gives them a chance to prioritize, a certain position group. Or like, I'll give you an example. Like Kentucky has a new, head coach in Will Stein. They really prioritized offensive line in the portal. They went out and spent on offensive linemen. And you can do that now. Like, it used to be only the schools with the most money could do something like that. Now everybody can say, here are the 4 or 5 players we need to keep, and we can keep them. And this is the position group we really need to attack, and we can do that. And so I think they understand the formula really well. I think they're really good at evaluating. I think a lot of it will come down to how good Jared Curtis is, though. And, that's the tricky part. And we've had this argument on the show a bunch of times, like, do you even sign a 5-star quarterback anymore? Like, is it worth it? Because the bust rate's pretty high. But in this situation, if you're Vanderbilt, it was an interesting deal, because he could go be a backup at Georgia, or he could come start at Vanderbilt. Well, that's a good choice by him, I think. Mm-hmm. Go play. Go figure out how good you are. And if it doesn't work out, you can always transfer somewhere else and build yourself back up. But if you hit at Vanderbilt, you're a star forever in your hometown.
And you brought up something just a second ago, speaking about like the SEC, and you talk to a lot of different conferences, and your microscope is like big across the sports world, specifically football. As an SEC athlete yourself, Andy, what is the state of the SEC? The Big Ten is they're loud. I mean, they might not just be great as from top to bottom, but they're winning national championships, Andy, and the SEC isn't right now. What's your take on that?
Well, I think the Big Ten is slowly, well, not really slowly. I think it's very quickly becoming identical to the SEC.
Yeah.
The teams in the middle and the bottom are becoming much better. The SEC, they did that because they cared a lot. In the Big Ten, they just have so much money. It's like, okay, let's spend some money.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see similar. I remember I talked about the average margin of victory in the SEC getting much tighter. You're going to see that in the Big Ten too. We had Brent Bielema on our show yesterday, and Illinois is a school that in the old era never would have been able to get out of the middle of the pack in the Big Ten. They won 19 games the past 2 years. Brett Bielema is really confident that they're going to be one of the better teams in the league again next year. So, now all of a sudden, you've got teams like that have hope, and that really can, if they land the right quarterback, or if they have the right guy they sign out of high school who develops into a star, they are going to be playoff contenders potential national title contenders. I mean, you saw it with Indiana this year. So I don't think it's a case of the SEC just, being terrible or anything like that. I just think the Big Ten is getting better. And what we're going to find out is how close are they? And Ramon, I know you understand this. The NFL draft's going to tell us.
Yeah.
Because those scouts are not paid to favor one conference or one team over. They don't care. They're going to go get the best players they can get. And if the gap between the SEC and the Big Ten and draft picks continues to narrow, or the Big Ten suddenly has more, that's going to tell you what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great point. Andy, I loved your piece, or maybe I should just call it eulogy for February National Signing Day at on3.com this week. Do you have a favorite National Signing Day memory?
I was sitting in the press conference. I was about to graduate from Florida, but I was still working for the school paper, and sitting in the press conference when the Jonathan Cologne's signing was announced, and then we found out he also signed with Miami, and that there was a person at his school that they called Coach Squeak that was involved.
Wow!
And they're like, so what happens here? What do you do? They both and basically what the NCAA said is, check the timestamps. Whoever got it first, that's where he's going.
Wow!
And it was Florida, so we went to Florida. But then there was another one. Because that was 2000, I want to say 2011, a guy named Floyd Raven who wanted to play for Texas A&M. I think his mom wanted him to go to Ole Miss. His mom forged his paperwork.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And so both schools got paperwork, and he's like, I didn't sign with this other school.
We love that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's almost like Legend Bay and the Vols this year.
It's incredible, Andy. I miss it. Nobody's hovering around fax machines the way they used to.
The thing is, Ramon mentioned the Legend Bay thing was weird, but that's a December signing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
It just gets buried by all, the weird stuff still happens, but when it happens in December, we're talking about the playoff, we're talking about the transfer portal, we're talking about all this other stuff. So it would be nice if it went back to February. Here's the thing. I think they may eventually eliminate the December signing date and just put it back in February. Mm-hmm. But there's so many people who enroll early right now. Like before, when they only had February, if you enrolled early, you just showed up on campus in January. That's what would happen, is most people would just show up on their campuses in January.
He is Andy Staples, Andy and Ari on 3, a great podcast, heavy in my rotation, talking college football, college sports, and the College Football Inquirer with our mutual friend, Stephen Godfrey, Ross Dellinger. They do a great job on there as well. Andy, appreciate you as always. Thanks so much.
Andy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Andy Staples with us here this morning, talking college football.
Always so clutch, man.
Yeah, he's the best. He's excellent. And our mutual friend, Stephen Godfrey, who we hope, I think, may be on the show next week. Working on that as well.
It's been a minute.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Get his Atlanta Falcons update.
That's right. That's right. Coming up, what do you want to see tomorrow? Tennessee and Kentucky. We'll dive into some of the numbers. What didn't work in the first matchup, and talk more about that as we wrap up Hour 3 next. Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip are the best. What's up? It's Will Bowling. For your watch party this weekend, this has got to be a part of your rotation because it's versatile. You stick any bag of chips next to it, it's going to be gone like that. The wings, the veggies, if you want to mix in something a little bit healthy this weekend as well. Daisy makes dips with ingredients you can find in your own kitchen. No preservatives, no artificial ingredients. It's that kind of thick ranch that you like the most. Go by a local grocery store, pick some up. That's Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip at a grocery store near you. Friday morning, wrapping up hour 3 on Ramon and Will. Hit the podcast feed if you miss any of our interviews or discussions. Like Brent Hubbs at 7:20, Ron Slay at 8, or Andy Staples, who joined us just a few minutes ago. Hit the subscribe button for us, if you will. Helps us quite a bit. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. It's easy to do as well.
Tennessee and Kentucky tomorrow night from Rupp Arena. Tennessee looking to avenge a home loss to Kentucky for a 3rd straight season.
The number.
What do you want to see tomorrow night, Ramon, from the Vols as they look to get a little bit of revenge on Big Blue?
Just as Savage said, meet and match the intensity if you have to. One up them, if you will, as well. I don't want you to go Chris Beard, Ole Miss storming the court and, creating all kind of chaos and stuff, but it has to be matched. From my understanding, that arena is loud. That arena is full of people that understand ball. Even Savage had, I think 3HL had KSR on yesterday, Kentucky Sports Radio.
Matt
Jones was on with them yesterday, and he was just speaking about that matchup. It was a great conversation, actually, too. He hollered at Dante Culpepper in the background, something about Syracuse and basketball championships and stuff like that.
Classic.
But the respect is there. But on that court, the hate has to show as well, man. And I think that the Vols team, especially with this many freshmen playing, Felix Okpara being out of this game, they got to match that intensity and not cower or shrink to what's being presented to them. Nate Ament has to continue to play his game. And the other part, too, that I think is going to be very tested and tried is watching how Kentucky attacks Nate Ament, too. That's one thing I've noticed the last 4 games when he's been on this heater is the physicality that Nate Ament has been matched with. Jalen Carey is there to be his stopper, his protector, his security guard as well. I think that's the approach going into this one. Like, if this game end up being 60-54, I think the Vols end up winning that.
Oh, no question. Yeah. If it's a game played in the 60s, then that insinuates it's not a track meet. And right. Tennessee's probably grinded it out. The second half defensive effort that Tennessee had at home against Kentucky is one of the worst in the Rick Barnes era. They allowed 49 points in that second half, and Kentucky was 11 of 24 from behind the arc in that game. I think the biggest difference in that game was Jacoby Gillespie's foul trouble at the end of the first half. And one of the reasons why that game was such a turning point for Tennessee is that I do think they learned some lessons on how to play without Jacoby on the floor. Kentucky won on a 20-6 run over the next 10 minutes after Jacoby Gillespie got his second foul in the final 4:35 of the first half. And Bishop Boswell was on the bench too. Tennessee is getting better at playing without Jacoby. And even when Jacoby's on the floor, I think they're getting better at playing with him at the 2, at either Bishop Boswell or Troy Henderson being the primary facilitator when they have it in the offensive end. I also want to see Tennessee sustain their offensive rebounding effort for 40 minutes and not 20. Because in the first half against Kentucky the first time around, they out-rebounded them 6-0 on the glass. They scored 10 points off 8 turnovers from Kentucky, and that script flipped in the second half. The crazy thing is, on paper, this should be a pretty good matchup for Tennessee because they should be able to bully Kentucky down low, and for whatever reason, they just let the foot off the gas in the second half after Kobe went out with his second foul, and it kind of changed the flow of the entire game. I think Tennessee wins this game. I think Tennessee gets its lick back. I think you are going to see as motivated of a Tennessee team as it gets because this should be the right kind of team for Tennessee to play, a team that struggles inside to match physicality, match toughness and rebounding. And Rick Barnes' team should be able to defend the penetrating drives out front way better than they have. And it's downright confusing how bad Tennessee's been defensively against Mark Pope's system.
I mean, if you even go to the Ole Miss game, the fact that Ole Miss, who's not a three-point shooting team, was allowed because of that miscommunication of switching off and protecting the perimeter wasn't there as well.
Right.
To your point about the Kentucky one, too, like the embarrassment that they had at the end of that game, so much so that Jalen Carey, get into a little scuffle after the fact. They laughed in the Vols' face and everything else. Like, this is a quick turnaround for a rivalry game like this, and it's going to be hot. I can't imagine the pregame, the nerves, and just the lead up to the first tip off. And how, here's the thing, too. The time in which the Vols were able to get them, they lost it. It slipped. I don't think it's going to be easy for them going into Rupp Arena to get this one in that fashion, unless it does get down and dirty, though, too, Will. Like, that's the part they're facing. And seeing if Jalen Carey can stay out of foul trouble, and also JP Estrella as well. Both of those dudes got to be clean, because when you take those two out and you left with a young freshman and Brown underneath the net,
Dwayne Brown,
that's a long way. That's
it does feel like a game where Tennessee needs Felix Okpara to play in order to really feel good about their style matching Kentucky's intensity. I will say it's interesting, that building, I've been 3 times to Rupp Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Tennessee win once there in 2018 and lose twice the 2 years before that. I think the noise is a little overhyped of Rupp Arena.
Do you?
And there are a lot of Kentucky fans who will agree that it is an older crowd. It's similar to, it's not exact the same. It's similar to the kind of crowd that goes to Lady Vols games.
Okay.
You have a lot of long-time season ticket holders who love their Kentucky basketball, and to Slay's point that he's always made, they know the game. There's no question about that. Yeah. The fans in Rupp Arena know basketball, no doubt. Mm-hmm. Not disputing that. But it's not quite as loud, I think, as what it used to be. I think it is an older basketball crowd. You go deep enough on Twitter, you'll see Kentucky fans complain about that too, of like, when are the old heads going to stand up and make some noise? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a little bit of a different kind of environment. It's still a hostile environment. There is a reason why teams struggle to win there. So I don't want to take anything away from the tradition and the mystique of Rupp Arena, because certainly there is a lot of tradition there, but it's different. A little different.
I don't know if there's anybody that's had Coach Barnes' number the way Mark Pope has.
Boy, you're not kidding.
He ran Kyle.
Yeah.
He ran Kyle, Coach Barnes did. I ain't going to say he ran him.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
I mean, they had their way more so than almost he's had with any other elite coach like this. And Mark Pope has said, nope, we're bringing you in to beat him and them.
Yeah, Ken Palm projecting a 1-point Kentucky win, 1.5 the spread in favor of the Cats. Tennessee, the number 1 team in offensive rebounding percentage in college basketball. Kentucky 70th in offensive rebounding percentage. There is not a world where Tennessee wins this game and doesn't win the battle on the offensive glass. Coming up, NFL awards last night. We'll run through all of them. Why Mike Verbal. Yes, I'm saying that the way it was said last night. One NFL Coach of the Year coming up next.
9:02, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. For the first time in his 17-year career, Matthew Stafford was announced as the NFL League MVP as the NFL honors were last night, and Stafford indicated that he will play in 2026, saying, quote, "I'll see you guys next year," in his speech. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, he won Coach of the Year. That's his second time taking home that award. Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba was the Offensive Player of the Year. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett, after he set an NFL record with 23 sacks this past season, he won Defensive Player of the Year for his second time in his career. Panthers wide receiver Ted McMillan, he won the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Browns linebacker Carson Schlesinger won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Also, the 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced last night. Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, Roger Craig, and Drew Brees will all be inducted coming up this August. And for the 2027 class, the early inductee candidates are Adrian Peterson, Ben Roethlisberger, and Rob Gronkowski, leading the way for the first-time eligible list for next year. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 4 of the program, the final hour of football season. Yeah, I'm being nostalgic about it throughout the morning. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, 615-737-1045. The 11-year NFL vet, and me, who, again, calling me a track star is an insult to track stars everywhere.
They don't know that.
Somebody in our chat earlier, when we talked about you getting eligibility back, Vandy Man on YouTube was like, "Oh, you should get your track jersey back out." They don't want me. Trust me. They're number 2 in the country right now. They were number 1 last week, but
straight up,
they don't want me. Yeah, Tennessee Track and Field is the closest to a national title on campus right now.
Oh, that's awesome,
Shout
man.
out.
They got a lot of stuff going on up there. I know, what is it? I think tennis is doing pretty well. Golf is in his bag.
It would be easier to name the teams that aren't doing well.
That's true, too.
Honestly.
That's very true. By the way, SEC golf. I know it's a side topic. SEC golf.
Vandy, a powerhouse. Texas. Auburn just won the national title in men's golf.
One of my son's classmates, I think, is a commit or strong recruit to Vanderbilt golf as well. So I think his family's
a powerhouse program.
I've realized I rode by it mistakenly last week, if I'm not mistaken. I was like, what is this? I see Vandy Golf Course right there.
But Tennessee and Vandy have brand new facilities, too, that are like state of the art.
I hadn't seen the Tennessee one, but like I said, mistakenly rode past the Vanderbilt one, and boy, they just pour money into sports all the time. I'm talking like all the SEC schools. Like you cannot compete unless you have like a first class facility and everything else that's involved in it, man. It's pretty
in this
sweet.
Conference, absolutely.
That's exactly how you got it.
In the Power 2, yeah.
In this conference, yeah, you definitely got to be in your bag.
Last night, NFL awards. Justin, I just put in our Slack the audio of the announcement on NFL Coach of the Year. If you missed it and you are trying to understand why I am calling the Patriots head coach what I am, we can play this for you. Let me know when you're ready with it. All right, we're good. This was Tiffany Haddish announcing NFL Coach of the Year last night.
The 2025 AP Coach of the Year is Mike Vrabel.
Tiffany Haddish, everybody.
Oh, come on,
Mike Vrabel.
Tiffany.
Her name is Tiffany Haddish, if you don't know. I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, I did. But that's the thing, though, too. They're such Hollywood people, man. They probably don't give a doggone about football specifically like that.
Coffee all over myself, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. That's why I tell guys sometimes, you're not as important as you think you are. Like, here's Tiffany Haddish at the biggest award event and can't even, doesn't even know Mike Vrabel's name. I think the casual football player casually knows how to say Mike Vrabel or Brett Favre, however they said his name in the draft, remember? Yeah. I guess we can't say his name too much as much these days. Either way.
Might get sued.
We do not want those problems. Speaking of sued, the guy that's suing DK Metcalf, he's also suing Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco as well for, I think, defamation and false claims.
Okay.
Yeah, $100 million.
Best of luck to him.
Good luck.
Best of luck to him.
Absolutely.
Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, going from 4 wins in 2025 to 14 wins in 2026. Or 24 to 25, obviously. The 10-game improvement joined the 99 Colts and 08 Dolphins for the best turnarounds in NFL history. He becomes the third coach and the first since Jim Caldwell in 2009 in Indy to win 14 games in year one. Deserving winner for you?
Yes,
Mike
absolutely.
Vrabel?
No doubt about it. He's to go back to that place and get them not just decent and good or surprisingly, hey, they make the first round of the playoffs and are bounced out. Absolutely not. He's done a world of difference for that team that's been clamoring for that type of play moving forward, man. I'm genuinely a little bit of a relationship with Vrabel. Like, it's kind of cool to watch him go there and love that place and do what he's doing right now, man. So tip of the cap to him, man. I got a very close mentor inside of that organization as well, so I'm very happy for him too. He called me, telling me about the Super Bowl, intro that they had in San Francisco or whatnot. It's such a cool thing.
Matthew Stafford, MVP. You and I were both on the same side of this, in agreement that he was the pick. His 2025 season was the 8th time in NFL history that a quarterback threw for at least 4,500 yards and 45 touchdowns in a season. 6 of the previous 7 to do so also won MVP. The only one who didn't was Drew Brees in 2011 because Aaron Rodgers also had 4,500 yards and 45 touchdowns in 2011. Yeah, that's right.
He won the Super Bowl. The 2011 year. Golly. He cooked, and then I had to root for him this year. But that's a great class to be a part of, man. I like Stafford with the health issues that he's had. I know he's had some personal stuff happen, too, with, the issues that he had with his wife and everything else, man. It's good seeing guys kind of hit, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to the second chance opportunities or getting better as you get older in the NFL. Because the thing with me, why I wanted to see Matthew Stafford win, is because he came into the league in 2009 as a young guy and was behind Peyton and Brady and Breeze and Rivers and every other quarterback in the mix, Mike Vick even, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at all of the guys that we grew up on. Matthew Stafford was in the middle, and everybody knew he was cooking in Detroit, or he had the skill set to win. But that era of Detroit Lions football just wasn't good for him, and it's kind of cool watching the back end of this thing kind of ride off like that.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Teteroa McMillan of the Carolina Panthers, who, in his own admission, called his rookie year average. The 8th pick of the draft, who had 70 catches on 122 targets, 1,014 yards, and 7 touchdowns. You like him as the Offensive Rookie of the Year? You're already nodding your head.
Yes.
It's your guy.
I called that one.
You were on the Tet McMillan train since day one.
I called that one. Now, I'm proud of that one, man. His ball catching skills, again, you go back and look at his ability to catch the football at Arizona State. Arizona?
Tet McMillan, Arizona.
Arizona.
Jordan Tyson is Arizona State.
Yes, that's the two.
Blasphemy.
I know, that's foul. But just watching him catch footballs in college at that size, you saw I'm telling you, with the right quarterback, and everybody's benefited from him. Bryce Young, most definitely, I'm sure, is excited to have that a part of his weaponry moving forward, man.
The first ever Protector of the Year. This is a new award for the Chicago Bears. First one representing Chicago. Joe Thuney. First team All-Pro for a 4th straight season, and he did not allow a sack, per ESPN.com, and logged the second most snaps of anyone on the Bears offense, 33 years old. Caleb Williams took 44 fewer snaps this year than he did in his rookie season. Joe Thuney was tied for the lead among all interior offensive linemen in pass block win rate by sustaining his blocks for 2.5 seconds, 98% of the time. He did move to left tackle when Ozzie Trapillo went down with an injury in the playoffs as a part of their divisional round matchup with the LA Rams. It's his 2nd straight postseason when Joe Thuney moved to tackle. Ramon, as a former interior offensive lineman in the NFL, do you approve of Joe Thuney being Protector of the Year?
Chef's kiss, absolutely. His technique is flawless. His grit is it shows up on tape. His finish is there. His athleticism shows up. His footwork, his hands matching the defenders. All of those things are part of the play. And I'm glad, number one, it went to a guard, because I don't think enough praise go to the guys on the interior that got to deal with those 310-pound demons that you got to, take the bull rush, then take the speed, and then, guess what? We'll put a 260-pound defensive lineman over here and see if you can block him too. Like, Tooney, to me, has been a guy that's been as consistent as almost anybody. First ballot Hall of Fame type is what I would call him.
It's interesting the way Joe Tooney's conversation changed, because in the offseason when the Bears traded for him and Jonah Jackson, there were critics of those moves who were wondering maybe why they were giving up pretty solid draft capital when they needed to rebuild around their quarterback. They went for immediate success, immediate protection, and they paid a pretty penny for it. Did the Titans learn from that and become open, Ramon, to the trade market for an immediate impact lineman like Joe Tooney? And this is where I think when we have conversations, I know Will Lomas at Titan Sized hit us up last week and was like, well, the offensive line is already fixed for the Titans. I don't think it has been. And I think that ending the season on a 6-game stretch of getting better does not in any way mean the line is fixed. When you have a quarterback still learning how to get rid of the ball on time, as much as Cam still is, you have got to make sure that there's no doubt that the line has been fixed. Should the Titans learn from the Joe Tooney success story in Chicago this year?
So that's what we were speaking about earlier when looking at these two teams in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks and the Patriots, is being able to strategically pick and place guys inside of your organization that you know are going to hit the ground running. They knew they had deficiencies on that offensive line in Chicago. They knew they also have Caleb Williams on a rookie contract. They got the skill set. They were going to get the weapons in the draft. Like, they hit on a lot of different things, and that was a part of it, as well as taking that risk, to your point, of going and trading away assets for the right now. Because if Ben Johnson felt this way about Caleb, then clearly he knows what he wanted his offensive line to look like as well. And, well, the thing is this, though, too. Like, all of this is a risk. It's by far one of the most riskiest things you can do, but the belief into having your guys, of course, what we speak about, drink the Kool-Aid and buy into what you're selling, is, I think, the first step in all of that as well. Because look at how that locker room reacted to Ben Johnson's maniac ways, right? And if, Robert Saleh feels that he can go do that offensively or defensively, well, yes, bleep them draft picks. Rams did it as well.
I just really think that you don't have to be as conservative with your draft capital this time around. You got to be smart, but at the same time understand that there's an opportunity here if you really have strong conviction about a player. And I think specifically on offense, when good offensive linemen rarely are available in free agency, and same can be said for number one wide receivers. Receiver is going to cost you a little bit more of a premium, but you've got to surround Cam Ward with the best possible wall of protection today, just based on what his weakness is. Same thing as Caleb Williams. For a quarterback like that who struggles to get the ball out on time when he is struggling. Not to say Cam always struggles with that, but when Cam's having a bad day, typically that bad day is directly tied to holding the ball a little bit too long and trying to do a little bit too much. You've got to go an extra step to get that quarterback protection. Every quarterback benefits from protection, but especially the kind who has the propensity to hold the ball longer than others.
I'm trying to find the award also, to your point about like those strengths and weaknesses, and I think it should be a conversation for sure about how parallel you want the careers of Caleb Williams and Cam Ward to be. Because here's the side too, like Caleb, I don't think was anything crazy with what Ben Johnson was asking him to do, but here's where you want to watch his game show up in moments where it becomes regular, too. The same as Patrick Mahomes. They ended up getting the, where is it at? Is it the play of the year, if I'm not mistaken? Caleb Williams. And it was the playoff throw to DJ Moore that you see the talent show up, and I think there'll be more of that'll happen for the Titans if you can get the baseline down first, Will, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the walk-off touchdown in Week 16 OT against the Packers.
Next-gen stat moment of the year.
Okay.
That's the specialty that you want to see eventually come out once Cam gets his feet underneath him first.
That is a moment that not many quarterbacks are capable of, but luckily our quarterback here is capable of.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Ben Johnson had Caleb this year. Look at his stats. They're not impressive. He just didn't hurt him.
Completion percentage isn't impressive, but the overall production is solid.
Yes.
But again, like he was taught to also throw the ball away.
Exactly.
And so when you take only 24 sacks, you could live with 58% completion a little more. And where they're similar is in the fact that oftentimes they'll make the really tough throws and miss the really easy ones.
But also, here's the other part, too, the context of it. You said he had, Caleb Williams had 44 less sacks.
Yeah. Yeah, he was sacked 68 times in 2024 and only 24 times.
So those throwaways
in 25
were productive to make sure that he's not getting hit every single play.
If you gave me for Cam Ward in 2026 a 90.1 quarterback rating, 24 sacks taken, 3,900 yards, 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and 6 game-winning drives, I will sign up for that 100 times out of 100.
That's cooking.
100 times out of 100. But a part of that is that if that's the way you're going to live and that's who Cam Ward is, you better give him a run game. Because the reason why Caleb Williams and the Bears were in the position to go on those game-winning drives is because this season the Chicago Bears had the number 3 rushing offense of the NFL running for 24.56. So again, when we talk about Breece Hall upgrading at running back, getting Tony Pollard help if he is still around, we're not diminishing Cam Ward's strengths. We're maximizing them. We're not trying to have less of Cam because we don't think he's very good. We want less of Cam Ward because Cam will be better if the pieces around him are better. It's not just let Cam cook.
Nope.
We might get there one day, but for today, quarterback proof the offense where Cam is given the keys with 1:53 to go, down by 1, and you need points. Then you let Cam cook. But Cam's got to be in games and in third and manageable to where you've just run for 6 yards on 2nd and 10 because you had an incompletion on first down, and now it's 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 11 because you can't run against anybody.
I'm like a proud uncle over here watching you talk ball like this.
And we're not insulting.
So
we're not, you can't criticize Cam Ward without being a Cam Ward hater on Twitter. I just
that's the point. Like what you just said, like that's the point where you say, like, I'm cool with watching Cam cook, but let's get Cam baseline first.
Yeah, let's quarterback proof the offense where Cam has no choice but to be successful.
Same as Caleb.
On good days and bad days.
That 58% that Caleb Williams threw this year, cool, but they protected him. They also went deep in the playoff run because why, Will? They surrounded him with weapons that allowed him to show his talent when it was necessary. Not from day one, I still will contest. That's why I think Will Levis crashed and burned, is because you asked for too much too soon, either from the staff or him wanting it or the idea that you thought you needed it. That you can't do that. You can't.
And one game against the Falcons set the expectation that it was possible for it just to be
exactly
Will Levis, pew, pew, pew.
Like, we're watching Bryce Young right now find his bearing, his footing in this league as well. Like, not everybody's going to jump out and be Jaden Daniels. Now look at him. I think there's more questions about him having a 3rd-year jump than a 2nd-year, sophomore takeover.
Right.
It ain't questionable because he got the talent. It's questionable because, man, that was bad in year 2.
The name I'm curious on is Landon Dickerson, if he's available in trade market. Reports were this morning that he is contemplating his future in Philadelphia. Might retire. From what the reports
are. Got like a 21-year-old offensive coordinator now, too, don't they?
Yeah, and Jeff Stoutland's out. The O-line coach.
Did you see how he just left?
Yeah.
On social media.
Yeah, they took away run game responsibilities from, like, the godfather of O-line. The guy who is closer to O-line Jesus than the guy who was just here, Bill Callahan.
He announced it on Twitter, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crazy. Coming up, Brent Hubbs was on the show earlier this morning. If you missed it, he made a great point about how you build rosters differently today in college football versus 5 years ago. What does that mean for Tennessee? What's the best way for Tennessee to build a roster? And are they doing high school recruits a disservice by wanting Joey Aguilar back? We'll dive into that question next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, I like to tell y'all, those issues around your house, whether it be plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, it just brings the house down. It could, and it just makes you worry about stuff that you probably don't know how to fix yourself, like me, okay? But I'm here to tell you this. When you call Hiller, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly, man. And the price that you told is the price that you will actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill when they finish the jobs at your house, man. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated as well. Their techs is who you'll directly deal with, man. They're very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of that tech and a link to track them in real time. One, it's for security purposes, and two, so you're not wasting your time. They believe in this. 100% satisfaction every single job. Happy you'll be, or the service is free is the motto. You heard me say it, and they live by it exactly. If you're not happy with the work they've done around your house, or just not satisfied in general, they'll do all they can to fix it, or just simply give you your money back, man. Listen to me, dude. Learn more about Hiller or to book with them. Simply go to happyhiller.com.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, hour number 4. Glad you're with us. Hope you stick around for a little bit longer. We got 30 more minutes left of football season. Brent Hubbs was on the show earlier this morning. If your commute is later and you missed it, first of all, hit up the Ramona Will podcast feed, because even if you're not a Tennessee fan, Brent Hubbs brings it on college football, college athletics, the state of the sport. And Ramon, you asked a really good question about how you build a roster differently than what you used to. And I think there's a misconception out there about Tennessee wanting Joey Aguilar back and what that means down the road, long term. If you missed it, this was Brent Hubbs on the show earlier this morning talking about building your roster differently than you used to.
It used to be that you recruited with 2 years in mind. Okay, you were projecting 2 years out. Okay, if Ramon Foster was rolling into his junior year and he's a starter, I need to be thinking about who can I redshirt his senior year and then be ready to play, step in and play, right? That's how you recruited for the longest time. You don't recruit that way anymore. You're recruiting year to year because it's a new team. You're assembling a new thing every year because we're dealing with free agency. So you're sitting here, and it works on both sides of the fence, right? So you're sitting here with Ty Redmond last year, who played more than anybody thought. So as a fan, you're thinking, man, we get Ty Redmond for 2 more years and then he goes pro, whatever. Ty Redmond could have left you in December.
Yeah.
Braylon Staley could have left you in December. So it's hard to project all of that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out how to put the best team on the field you can put for that particular year. And a lot of people in certain positions certainly want an experienced guy on the field because that they feel like that gives them a better chance to win. And you continue to go recruit high school quarterbacks. There's one of the interesting debates, big picture, is do teams start to shift the number of kids they sign out of high school? Used to it was 25, and then it was like they took the cap off, and some people were signing 30, 32 players. Do we get to a point where you're recruiting 12 to 15 guys or 10 to 15 guys, high-end, high-talented guys, and then everywhere else you live in the portal and you supplement that way and become an older team every year through free agency? Or do you think, hey, I can still develop and it's cheaper for me to pay a current guy on the roster and hold on to him than it is to go get a riskier guy in the portal that you think is a good player, you think fits your culture and may or may not fit? That's the $1 million challenge in roster management right now.
It's Brent Hubbs of AllQuest with us this morning. Ramon, how does Tennessee best build a winner in football moving forward?
I think development at super important positions. I would go offensive line. I would go tight end. I would go backup quarterback because you need those. And linebacker.
Hard to get backup QBs in the portal.
It is, and that's why. Excuse me. That's why you want to have one of those guys on your roster that he knows his ceiling. Ain't too many people gonna come and get him.
Ryan Staub this year, the perfect example.
Exactly. That to me, I think is the best way. I'd like to say defensive line, but those dudes are highly sought after as well. When you look at the hot positions, it's the same as NFL free agencies: edge, quarterback, wide receiver, and then college, in my opinion, running back as well. Those are the ones that teams are going to try to go to. Cornerback from time to time, yeah, you want that to be the case. Have also benefited from it. But listening to Andy speak after Hubbs and listening to Hubbs speak about it as well, there's no protection for a coach to say, I want the best recruiting class each and every year. Again, Andy Staples brought that up as well. Like Kirk Cignetti just blew that up.
Yeah, and it's not that simple anymore.
It's not.
Just put together the best group of high schoolers you can. USC is going to be the really interesting case study in that this year with the class they just signed.
They signed a monster class.
They signed the number 1 class in the country.
Did. But it's also keeping them there as well.
And that's the question, right? Because Jimbo Fisher once signed one of the best classes ever. But it was built off of money and transactional relationships, and you couldn't keep those guys locked in. And similarly to the way we talk about NFL teams that just build bad cultures based off of free agent signings that are guys that are just there to get a bag. How hungry are you on the practice field on Tuesday in the middle of July when you're just there to collect a check?
And 1-year rentals happen. Like we were back and forth with somebody in the chat about, George McIntyre, why did you recruit him, and everything else that goes into it. And this is a business.
The game has changed for everyone.
Like, from what Hubs is saying too, thought next year, man, we'll find another corner. No. We got Ty Redmond, and gosh, you know what I was counting on immediately after the season? Boy, Ricky Gibson gonna be crazy for us. Ricky Gibson hopped in the portal and went and got a bag from Texas A&M. He's a bona fide first, maybe second day guy as far as draft pick goes. No later than probably third round if he stays healthy. Projection, that's my projection on him. But that's a real good college starter is what I'm saying. He didn't play a down for the Vols this year. I'm not sure what his deal was like, but he collected some NIL, that's for sure, because he's supposed to be the starter. He was the starter in the Syracuse game to open up the season. You can't bank on anymore because of how much of a wild, wild west process this is, that the agent is believing in the school, or the agent is settled with the type of money that you can get, or what we're learning from Lane Kiffin and the way Dabo Swinney is talking, who's recruiting my players in real time while we're competing during the season. There's always somebody that's willing to give you a bigger bag somewhere, and more times than not, guys coming from poverty or just urban or rural areas, you want as much as you possibly can get, and you can't fault them. But this is the other side to your point. Like Andy Staples said it just a second ago. You might have to stop recruiting 5-star quarterbacks just across the board.
Right. Certain programs for sure. And it does open the door for programs like Vanderbilt to bring in Jared Curtis. They can offer playing time that Georgia's not willing to offer.
No.
Nor should Georgia be willing to offer a true freshman quarterback the opportunity to start right away. And again, I don't blame Jared Curtis for wanting to play right away. I thought Andy put that together really well. The best case scenario is you crush it for your hometown team, or you go get more money to play at Miami, at Ohio State, at USC. Here's where I think college sports is similar to what it used to be. Brent Hubbs and Austin Price have talked to us about this a lot, how in recruiting, we're kind of back to square one, because when everyone has similar resources, relationships matter. I think the same can be said about development of your high school players. Ramon, if Tennessee wants to play their high school recruits the way they did this past season, how good are you at building a culture and just getting your guys ready to play and not worrying about the consequences? Because when I look at Indiana, that's how I see that program winning a national championship. It was old school Saban. It's zigging while the rest of the sport is zagging. It's not transactional relationships based off of money and paychecks. It's old, experienced football players that are willing to be pushed, that are willing to be challenged, guys that don't turn the ball over, guys that don't commit dumb penalties, guys that clearly, from what we know about Derek Owings, the new strength coach, were tough both mentally and physically. How do you become a little bit more old school again, because this pendulum never stops in the middle, in not necessarily just being the team that pays the most? Kirby Smart, Georgia's not paying the most.
No, they're not. And that's where I kind of wanted to go. It reminds me of the Bill Belichick Patriots era, where they're doing the small things better than everybody else.
Right. That still matters.
It does. And here's my thing as far as the universities go. You got to make it your thing. You got to make sure that every leader on your team is passing that message along. And then there's also a need to want to be good, too, and be pushed. Like, I think you can find certain players and families, too, because that matter. You can find certain players and families that are looking for the exact same thing that you are in a player and out of your team. It becomes, probably a little bit more tedious. Recruiting probably becomes a little bit more harder. But inside of your building, from what I'm hearing, what Coach Owens is doing, the strength and conditioning coach with UT, those players are clamoring for those instructions and messages that he's given.
I think Derek Owings is one of the most important hires that Josh Heupel has made in his entire time at Tennessee. Tennessee's got to get tougher. The gap in talent between the best and the worst is as thin as it's been in a really long time in college football. So you as a coaching staff have to squeeze the juice out of the orange, no pun intended, as much as you can, because everyone's working with similar fruit. The best of the best are still always going to have more, but you are looking at programs like Alabama and Georgia who aren't even close to the top spenders in this sport right now. But Kirby Smart has types, and he also has a proof of concept to say, why do you need money? I'm going to make you money in the NFL because we're going to be process driven. I'm going to coach you hard. You don't like it? Okay, well, there's a school on the other side of the conference that would be glad to have you and pay you whatever you want to be paid. Or you can go chase a bag at somewhere like Kentucky or Mississippi State that doesn't have the proof of concept and has to pay you.
Right.
That's fine. Go be the big man on campus there. Here, you're going to wait your turn, but I promise you there's a purpose behind it. Like coaches like that, you're not just waiting your turn just to wait because they want you to sit there. Like it's for the betterment of you as a player. Like if Jared Curtis had sat at Georgia, it's not just like, oh, back of the line, got to wait your turn. Like there's a purpose behind waiting your turn. You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
You used to have to be ready.
Yeah.
So how do you get guys ready? That's where Tennessee failed last season. I don't mind investing more in high school recruiting and not being as active in the portal, but you better get your high school recruits ready to play like veterans.
That's where I'm hoping that next step, is taken by the Vols too. Because to your point, there was a lot of youth. David Sanders Jr., Braylon Staley, Ty Redman, like the list goes on and on and on with those guys that played a lot. I'll tell you another team that did the exact same thing. Georgia did. Georgia used a lot of in-house players and young defensive linemen that grew up.
Right.
Georgia will be different, I expect, next year.
And they've already built it.
Yeah, they have.
Tennessee is trying to build it to that point to where we can point to the amount of guys we've sent to the league to get you on campus. We don't have to pay you all of that crazy money. LSU and Lane Kiffin don't have that proof of concept yet. And so they have to build it. Yeah. And then eventually they can get a pickier about their type. To answer the full question about how does Tennessee build a roster, I don't think Tennessee has as much of a roster building problem as they do a development problem.
There we go.
I think Tennessee is recruiting at a high enough level to consistently be in the playoff and be battling with some of the heavyweights. Texas is always going to outspend everybody. Georgia is Georgia. Outside of those two, Ramon, I think Tennessee can be in that next group consistently if they start to maximize the talent that's already on campus. 615-737-1045. Final call for phone calls. Final thoughts on Super Bowl 60 after this. Guys, with Valentine's Day coming up, I'm here to tell you that Brentwood Jewelry will make the process so easy for you. What's up? It's Will Bowling. They've got exceptional style. They've got exceptional deals, and the process is just going to be simple. When you walk into Brentwood Jewelry, you need a family-owned environment. People that want to get to know you, want to get to know what you're looking for. Going to walk you through the different price points, what your significant other will love. And ladies, I'm talking to you as well because their watch selection is fantastic. The Imam Ali family will give you that family-owned atmosphere the second you walk in the door. That door is at 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off of Franklin Road. They've been in business for over 50 years. They know what they're doing, and they're going to be able to help you find that perfect gift for Valentine's Day, that anniversary, or if you're like me and you're looking for an engagement ring when you walk in there. Brentwood Jewelry, online at brentwoodjewelry.com. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Buck Rising has you covered. Coming up next, go get you a bottle today for your weekend.
Be a fitting day to do it.
Who you got? Super Bowl 60. Give me a score. Put you on the spot.
Give me 31-28.
31-28.
Seahawks.
Okay.
Well, that wouldn't align with your bet that you made.
That's over 50. 45.
No, not minus 4.5.
Yeah.
Minus, well.
Oh, no, you spoke it now. 31-28.
Dang, man. Sorry.
That's fine, Hawk. You still won't catch me.
What's your pick?
I guess we'll see. I'm going to go Seahawks. I'm going to go 34-21.
34-21. Okay. I'll go 28-14 Seattle.
2 scores on everybody, huh?
28-14. Yep.
Should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it because I don't know how to call it. I just think I feel my feels are right about this one.
I see it going 2 ways. I see it a blowout or a
close game. Those are your 2 options.
Yeah, I know. I misspoke when I started.
Mm-hmm.
It could either be a blowout or it could be not a blowout.
Nice.
Premier analysis.
Just giving you a hard time. I know what you're trying to say.
I don't.
Ryan and Dixon up next. What's up,
Sure
Ryan?
You do.
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, fellas? How are y'all this morning?
We're good, man. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you guys. Quick question for both you guys. You go and look on Tennessee Volunteers, look on the message boards and all that stuff. Assuming that Joey Aguilar comes back, he's obviously going to be the starter for next year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think in terms of GMAC and Brandon Faison? Like, a lot of people say, they're both going to transfer. Well, I don't think that's true, but just read the message boards. Everybody's opinion is different, but I just wanted to get your guys' take on that. Like, if Aguilar comes back and is the starter, what do you think in terms of what's going to happen to Brandon next year or GMAC next year? Or do you think they both transfer to get starting jobs? I'll hang up and listen. You guys have a great weekend.
Sure. You too, Ryan. That's a great question. I have no idea what the answer is. I think you'd be concerned about George transferring out after this upcoming season, and then you'd be left with Faison Brandon as a redshirt freshman all alone. But I don't know that, and I don't know what conversations they've had behind the scenes or how in touch George has been with all this process. I just don't know. I would be shocked if they both transferred. But again, you never know in college football now.
We're in this position because of this past April with Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah, you never know.
Let's start there first. However the deal or deals did not get done with him wanting more money or wanting to transfer out, like we don't have this situation or the involvement in Joey Aguilar, which we're all thankful for, if Nico doesn't leave or his father or his camp, however you want to paraphrase that. And I'm sure UT played their part in it as well somehow too. So we don't have these scenarios if that doesn't happen. What I would tell you is like the pivot that you have to make, Ryan, as a fan is just fluid. I think you lose one. Potentially, it's a matter of how Faison feel. Does he sit for a year and a half?
Well, and who's QB2 by the end of the season if Joey is back? Because that was the deciding factor this year. By the end of the season, George McIntyre had become the next guy up.
Yeah.
Not Jake Merklinger. Jake Merklinger saw the writing on the wall and left. If, hypothetically, Faison by the homecoming game had taken over the second quarterback spot from George, then, I'd say George's probably out. But if George still feels like he's better in practice and feels like he's in a better spot than Faison, then, maybe he feels, you know what? Yeah, I could stick around here. I could be the guy in 27, I guess, at that point. There's a lot we've got to go through here. And Andy Staples seems to think Joey will be back at a better than 50% chance, as he said. I'm a little more skeptical.
I'm skeptical, too. Just because I think the hammer could just drop on all of them.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Last call, Richie. Next up. What's up, Richie?
Morning, Richie.
Fellas, I do the same thing like everybody does. We see the team that wins the championship, we go crazy over them. I don't think Indiana will ever win it again. I think they had a lot of underrated players, and that quarterback won the championship for them. I think they're going to be more like that 24 team that got hammered by Ohio State and then lost to Notre Dame in the playoff. I do not think they can keep this going. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
No doubt. I got you.
Thank you, Richie. I think it's a fair argument. I think where I would push back is that now they can recruit a better caliber player. Because they did this year with like the 40th best roster according to the 247 Sports Talent Composite. And this offseason, they added Josh Hoover. And They added a big-time wide receiver. They added, now they can spend less to get more because, we're Indiana. We won a national championship with these dudes.
So that's my pushback.
Yeah.
Just because you spend doesn't mean that it, nets the return on another championship as well.
Because when you have that title, you don't have to spend as much anymore.
Nah.
I mean, you still can, obviously, but if it's between Indiana and, let's say, Penn State for the same guy, I might be willing to take $300K from Indiana and turn down $400K from Penn State because Indiana just won a national championship. Yeah, I want to go win a national championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. Somebody asked the question, what's the chance of George McIntyre beating out Joey? I think it's small. You don't bring
Joey?
Back, yeah, George. Zero. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if Joey Aguilar is back, he is the starting quarterback of the Tennessee Volunteers.
In these situations,
I love George, but
follow the money.
He just threw for 3,500 yards with 3 weeks to learn the offense.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he'd be the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, how would I handicap it if it was George McIntyre versus Faison Brandon?
We don't know.
We don't know because we've not seen him battle yet, but I'd give George certainly the edge. Mm-hmm. Certainly.
Yep.
Back at it Monday morning for Super Bowl reaction. We will be live on President's Day.
Yeah, we will.
Monday. Talk to you then.
Yeah, good people. Y'all know how it is, man. Call your people, talk to your people, have a good time with your folks. Have a random conversation with somebody you don't even know. We're more alike than we are apart, man. Y'all know how I feel. ELE, everybody love everybody, man. But make it back to us on Monday. Catch an Uber or Lyft or cab from those Super Bowl parties. Do not drink and drive. Peace.
Mike Verba.